Baby, it's happening tonight. We made it. We built the bridge from the finals to the regular season. It all starts tonight. We've got the Sixers at the Celtics. We've got the Lakers at the Warriors. We've got star power. We've got storylines. We've got two of the most drama-filled teams in the offseason, which happened to be last year's finalists, the Celtics and the Warriors. Obviously not playing each other, but both in action here tonight. I will have all kinds of betting angles for you coming up, and we're going to get to it here pretty promptly. I just want to quickly right now just get a quick punch in right there on Cleveland for going with Savali here today. What are you doing? Bieber not on 3 days of rest. Cortez was good to go 3 days of rest. No, Shane Bieber cannot go on 3 days of rest because, of course, his right arm will fall off if he goes on 3 days of rest. Ladies and gentlemen, the load management era is now ending playoff runs. That's what we're seeing here. Wanted to get that off my chest early on here. It is one of the worst front office / managerial decisions I've ever seen, going back to Manager Cash pulling out Blake Snell in Game 6 of the World Series a couple of years ago when the Tampa Bay Rays absolutely handed on a silver platter a championship to the LA Dodgers. More on that as we move along here. And right now it's 5-1 Yankees cruising to a Game 5 victory, and they will soon play the Astros, matter of fact, tomorrow in the ALCS. Let's get to some betting advice for opening night. It is your boy, Rick Kamla. I want to open up the comment area right here real quickly because I'm stoked. And I anticipate a lot of you being in here tonight, and we're going to hang out. We're going to chat together, and we're going to have a good time. Boston is a 2-point favorite in this game. And I like Philadelphia tonight. I like Philadelphia. It's now 3. Wow. Sharp money coming in on Boston since I last refreshed on DraftKings. Tell you what, sharp money coming in is noteworthy. And a lot of times it will lead me in that direction. But now I've had this opinion all day. I'm not going to amend it now for 1 point on a point spread because somebody all full of Boston pride, went to the window and put 100 G's on Boston, and it shifted the line by 1 point or whatever that denomination of money is. I'm hanging in there with Philly +3. Boston has taken a ton of hits here over the offseason. Philadelphia has checked every box. They're healthy. They're motivated. They're deeper. They were one of the winners of the offseason. Everybody is healthy and in very well conditioned and in a very good place coming into tonight's game. That was my reset your goalie alarm for my fantasy hockey league. So apologies on that. I do have a draft coming up tonight. It is the FSGA West fantasy basketball league. So that's starting in, I don't know, about 42 minutes or something like that. We've got guests coming up. We've got a lot going on. Your boy's going to be juggling plates in here with all the action. But I'm just the guy to do it here on Bettor Sports Live. But Philadelphia is just heading into this game in a very positive direction. Boston, to me, is picking up the pieces. Philadelphia is on a mission. And I think Joel Embiid, I know Joel Embiid's going to be the best player on the court tonight. Jason Tatum did not have a great preseason. He might have a great game tonight, but he didn't have a great preseason. Jaylen Brown did have a great preseason. And so a lot of things conspire for me to go with Philadelphia tonight, plus the 3. The total is 214.5. Now it's up to 216.5. Knock yourself out on that. I think early in the season, in a game like this with rivals, both teams hang their hat on defense. I'm not so sure I'd go over that, but it's not an official tout. But Philadelphia +3 is an official tout. Let's get to some props. Some prop bets on opening night in the NBA. What I can tell you from my viewing and then research on the series last year between Boston and Philly is that last year they were just defensive and intense battles that drove down the offensive numbers for a lot of the key players. Jason Tatum, for example, averaged 22.8 points per game against Philadelphia last year. Well down from his overall average. He was up to 12 rebounds, though, per game, 4.8 assists. So he did other stuff. But his prop for this game is 23.5. I'm not going there tonight. I don't like it. I don't feel like I have an advantage. I could see a a rough shooting night from Jason Tatum tonight. I could. He's going to have PJ Tucker on him, folks. PJ Tucker, one of the primetime 3-and-D guys in the NBA, loves getting under the skin of players like Tatum, Kevin Durant, Giannis, the best players in the game. He's very, very good at it. Might be a frustrating game coming up here tonight for Jason Tatum. I mentioned Tatum has not played that well in the preseason. He got tossed out of the last game for barking at the refs. So I'm out. I'm not under, but I'm out on 23.5. I am over 7.5 rebounds on Jason Tatum. Okay. So I do like the over on 7.5 rebounds. I mentioned he averaged 12 rebounds per game against Philadelphia last year. And opening night a lot of times leads to jitters, which leads to misses, which leads to rebounds. Okay. I don't think this is going to be a work of art tonight. I think we're going to see some tough shooting and some tough offense tonight. I do. And Jason Tatum will be there. Think about it. Without Robert Williams, he needs to do even more of the big man stuff. So I like it. I like the over on Jason Tatum's rebounds at 7.5. I also like the over on Jaylen Brown and his point prop of 22.5. Last year against Philadelphia, he was right on this number at 22 points per game. But here's the thing. He's been killing it in the preseason. All 4 games, he's shot well and scored well and played well. He's already humming along and playing at a very high level. The defensive attention from PJ Tucker is going to go to Jason Tatum. So Brown's going to be working against Harris, Harden, Maxey, Thibault, guys like that. And that's a big-time advantage and a big-time plus. And Jaylen Brown is a big game player. Been that way his whole life. He outplayed Tatum in the finals last year. The stage and the lights are never too bright for Jaylen Brown, and I think he's going to have actually a big game tonight. I think 22.5. We're going to get that one and feel good about it. It is Rick Campbell here on Bettor Sports Live, breaking down the prop bets for tonight's opening night doubleheader, and I do like Philadelphia plus the 3 points tonight. Derek White. Let's dig a little deeper here. I like Derek White. His point prop is 10.5. I like the over on this one, and a little bit off the radar, but this is one that this one pays the same as an Embiid prop or a Tatum prop, right? Last year against Philadelphia, Derek White averaged 10.5 per game, right on this number. Did not shoot the ball well, 33 from the field and 20 from 3. But in the last preseason game, he was cooking. Derek White, 23 points in 26 minutes, couldn't miss. Marcus Smart and Brogdon are going to play, but they're a little bit banged up entering this game. And in terms of Derek White, he is going to enter the starting lineup with Robert Williams out. So Brogdon's going to stay on the bench. White is the guy that's going to come into the starting lineup. White is going to play 26, 28, 29, maybe 30 minutes. He's going to be on the court a lot. They made a big trade to go get him at the deadline last year, last year. He finished last year with Boston. Big part of their plan, okay? We need 10.5, and I like it. I like it for Derek White over 10.5. Now, Joel Embiid, his point total, looked at it. I don't see an advantage. I don't sniff an advantage. I don't get the tickle. We're at 26.5. Okay, right? Probably going to be at 27 or 28 or 26, right? Somewhere in there. I'm looking for advantages here. I'm looking for separation between my expectations and Vegas's. 26.5, there's no advantage there for me. I do like, however, for Joel Embiid, the over on his rebounds. 10.5 rebounds tonight. And I'm going over that, all right? Last year against Boston, he averaged 12.5 rebounds per game. So 2 over this number last year on average in 4 games against the Bostonians. It's opening night, 2 defensive teams. It's a rivalry game. It's going to be intense. There's going to be a lot of defense played in this game, which, again, is going to lead to misses. And misses are going to lead to rebounds. And I'll go with the tallest guy under the basket to get those rebounds. His name is Joel Embiid. He's going to have a lot of opportunities for rebounds tonight. I also like the double-double prop on Joel Embiid. We're just giving it away like Oprah at Christmas time. Joel Embiid, double-double, minus 210. Bang. It would surprise me significantly if Joel Embiid did not have a double-double tonight. Significantly. So we're at minus 210, 2-1 to hit here on Embiid. I like that bet quite a bit. Minus 210. It's not too high. It's like a baseball money line, okay, right? Like a mismatch where you feel real good about it. And okay, I'll play the minus 210 on this. It's like that. I think that's a probable casher for you. I'll say that. I'm going to remember a probable casher, right? There's no guarantees. There's no locks. Oh, I got the lock of the cent. No, you don't. No, you think you do, but you don't. So let's go to game 2 tonight. This one will be at 10 o'clock Eastern time. The Los Angeles Lakers at the Golden State Warriors on ring night. And it is, of course, in the home of the Warriors, Chase Center. Oh, the crowd is going to be rocking tonight. My God. They're going to be full throat, fever pitch, playoff atmosphere. It's all happening tonight. It's ring night. Golden State, let me recheck the line here. This morning when I looked at it, they were, okay, it's up a little bit. Now minus 7.5. This morning it was -7. I still like it. I like Golden State. I told Finsty and Ronis on the show previous to mine that I don't really think this game's going to be all that close. I think it might be ugly. I think it might be a laugher in the fourth quarter. As Marv Albert might say, a garbage time, right? We've entered garbage time. I think we may see some of that tonight. So I got the Dubs -7. I just don't like the way the Lakers are coming into this game. They have been getting absolutely destroyed in the playoff games. Huge, huge deficits. And that doesn't matter, Cam. It's a preseason game. I get that, but to me, it does matter. Like, teams are playing their guys. It's not the NFL preseason where it's fine. It's fine. Literally, don't pick up a football. We'll see you on it week 1 and everything's going to be fine. It's not that way. These guys are playing. In not every game, but some teams operated with their guys playing every game. The NBA preseason is different. These guys actually play and actually want to get their bodies ready for the upcoming season. And then they shut it down and take a bunch of games off during the season, right? Oh, the irony. But LA's been getting steamrolled. I don't like the construction of their roster. It's a total misfit once again. They struck out on all the big deals they were going to make in the offseason. Malik Monk is in Sacramento right now. The guy you got to show for that is Lonnie Walker. Hello. Okay. So and they're about to be sent to the slaughter tonight, I believe, at Golden State. Is it ring night? Could we get a drifty, weird Golden State team, right? Let their guard down on ring night. We've seen that before. Here's why that's not going to happen. Because Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole 13 days ago, and the Warriors now want to, for themselves, but for the public optics, show everybody that they're fine and they're happy and that they're a unit and a family again. And again, more importantly for them, right? Let's get out there. Let's just absolutely shred a team and winning cures everything and all that stuff. And to a lesser degree to them, but to a bigger degree to us. I think is a Warrior predictor of a championship this year. I'd like to see them play well tonight. I don't really care. It's not going to make me sleep better or worse, but and based on all the conversation, all the offseason turnover, the Draymond thing, I think a lot of us are looking like, are we going to get the Warriors tonight? I can tell you this: we got the Warriors on Friday night in the preseason game against Denver. Again, preseason game. But that was at Golden State, and they were cooking. They just humming and hitting shots and moving the ball and laughing and bouncing and side bumping each other. The whole thing, all happening. I got Golden State tonight, -7.5. I'll give you the hook. I'll give it to you. Here's the hook. Not worried about the hook. I think this is going to be a 10-pluser. I do. So let's get to some props for tonight's game. It is Rick Hamley here on Bettor Sports Live. And ladies and gentlemen, we are here on opening night in the NBA, and could not be more excited about this. We've got some big guests coming up for you. At 7:30, we've got Casey Joyner, a fantasy writer for The Athletic. We've got Corey Parson, the fantasy exec, host of Corey Nando and Friends weekdays here on Bettor Sports Network from 3 to 5 Eastern, and then Bettor Zone Sundays from 1 to 5. So that'll be fun. Casey Joyner and Corey Parson coming up right around the corner. Some props for you. LeBron James, his point prop is 27.5. It's a rather large number. He's all they got. He and Anthony Davis. Last year against Golden State, buckle up for safety. LeBron James averaged 38.7 points per game against the Dubs. 38.7. We got to get to 27.5. 27.5 is basically LeBron's career average. All right. And so it's probably going to be his prop line every single game. 27, 27, 20, 26 and a half, 27 and a half, all that kind of stuff. So obviously LeBron's a big game player, but this is a matchup that he particularly savors. It's Curry, it's the debate, it's I got four, you got four, two California teams. At one time, the Lakers were a contender, looking at the Warriors a contender. And now, obviously, the Lakers think they're contenders, but they're actually not. And we all just ha-ha them from the outside. But based on how LeBron is looking at this game, this is a big game. This is a I still got it game. This is I'm still a badass game. This is I want to get our season off to a good start, all that stuff. LeBron almost always gets his numbers. Now, I believe Draymond Green is going to be on Anthony Davis tonight. I believe we're going to see a lot of Andrew Wiggins on LeBron James. And if you're worried about game script and all that kind of stuff, first of all, NBA players tend to get their numbers regardless of game script, especially the big guys like LeBron and Tatum and Durant and Trae Young and guys like that. They get their numbers. They get their numbers. They just do. It's a matter of how high or low they go. So LeBron, even if they get smacked by 20 tonight, 30 is still definitely in him. LeBron played more in the preseason than he did a year ago. To me, that's a good sign. I think he'll be even in a better rhythm. There was a game towards the end of the preseason that I saw, and he played very, very well. With Russ is going to play tonight. But I believe he'll come off the bench. We'll see. We've got some lineup drama tonight with the LA Lakers in terms of what they're going to do. With Anthony Davis, does he start at the 5? With Russ, does he come off the bench? But Russ is going to play tonight. Again, my prediction is that he's going to come off the bench. I think it's also the right thing to do. But coaches are stubborn, and maybe Darvin wants to see a few regular season games with him in the starting lineup and then pull the plug on him. I would go ahead and do it now. And there's all kinds of reporting sort of alluding to, and you read between the tea leaves of it, and it kind of sounds like Russ might come off the bench tonight based on that reporting. But reporting versus what will actually happen don't always marry. We're continuing on with prop bets here for opening night in the NBA. It is Rick Campbell here on Bettor Sports Live. Glad to have you guys and girls along for the ride here. Hold on. I will bang on Terry Francona a little bit in the future here. By the way, the Guardians are down to their final strike. Final out. It's 2 outs, 0-1 count. Peralta's up there. Some ham and eggers up there for the Guardians, about to get struck out, and the crowd's going to go crazy in the Bronx. But it's the Yankees are 1 out away from going to the ALCS to take on the Astros, where they will lose to the Astros. My pick to win it all. I got Anthony Davis over 9.5 rebounds in this game. And again, a big question: will he start at the 5? Is it really that big of a question? He's going to play the big man spots, and he's going to gobble up a lot of rebounds. No Thomas Bryant tonight. Probably going to mean more 5 action for Davis tonight. Helps this number right here a little bit, maybe by 1, and that may be all we need. But he's rebounding the heck out of the ball here in the preseason. He's moving very well. He's putting up big stat lines. And again, it's preseason, but I really like what I'm seeing out of Anthony Davis. Don't worry about any of that. Oh, well, I saw this back thing. Here's a base hit for Cleveland. They now have first and second and 2 outs, down 5-1. Tying man is not at the plate yet. But Looney and Green are not great rebounders, and they're grounded players. Davis can get off the floor very long and can get above both of them, Looney and Green, and just go be bigger and just go get that rebound. So there's an anatomical advantage for Anthony Davis for this particular matchup, going over 9.5. 2 games against Golden State last year. Obviously a small sample. Davis was at 9 rebounds per game. And he was allergic to the 5 last year. You did have Howard, you did have Jordan on the roster. So I do anticipate his appetite for playing the 5 to increase this year, but we just need the appetite for 10 or more rebounds tonight. I like the over on his rebound prop at 9.5. Ground ball to shortstop, over to second. They rock the baby to bed, and the Yankees are moving on to the ALCS to play the Houston Astros, and they win by the final of 5-1. And Terry Francona will now live in infamy among all of his illustrious career, the decision not to pitch Shane Bieber on 3 days of rest today, when Aaron Boone did make the decision to start Nestor Cortez on 3 days of rest today. And again, I need to hear. I've got Anthony Rivera and Tyler Soto helping me out here tonight, doing a great job as usual, and kind of keeping a lookout for Francona's explanation, because I want to hear. What I would love to hear is him throw the analytics staff with the Guardians under the bus. And here's TBS flashing over to Shane Bieber as he looks all pissed and dejected in the dugout. What probably happened is Bieber was like, "Yo, I want to go," and they're like, "You can't." Why can't I go? Well, your pitch count is running high, and based on our algorithms and our analytics and our metrics about your body, it's really running hot. It's in the red. It's in the RPMs. It's going vroom, vroom, and we can't have that. You might blow an arm. He's like, bruh, this is an opportunity of a lifetime at Yankee Stadium, Game 5, trip to the ALCS on the line. We actually still can win the World Series if you want to really go for it. Nah, we're good. Been a nice run. We made our money at home, and so let's shut you down here. And if we win, we win, and then you can pitch Game 1 of the ALCS. I mean, it drives me all the way crazy. All the way crazy. From 0 to 100 real quick. So out of respect to Terry Francona, who's a hell of a manager in general, I want to hear that this was the front office making the decision for him. Like a lot of you quip about Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone, like Brian Cashman coaches the team anyway, right? And all that kind of stuff. But legit, I want to hear that Terry Francona didn't have a choice here. I don't think we'll hear that. Tom Verducci, John Morosi, Ken Rosenthal, John Heyman, Passon of ESPN, all the great reporters, get sick them. Sick them. This is the story here. No, it's not the story. It's the Yankees. The Yankee. Of course, it's the Yankees. It's a Northeast thing, right? ESPN and all these Northeast entities, it is Yankee Red Sox, Yankee Red Sox, Yankee Red Sox, Yankee Red Sox. Oh, there's baseball played in the other 28 markets? Oh, my God. It annoys me. All right, so Anthony's telling me that Francona said if we empty our bullpen, then Bieber's available to us. And so what I don't like about that even more is that he like it wasn't like they just shut him down and he had no chance to play at all. It was situational. How that's bad managing, man. Bad managing. And again, the front office might have said to him, okay, emergency only. In case of emergency, break glass with Shane Bieber. Otherwise, you can't have him today. So again, I don't know if it was Terry Francona's fault or the front office's fault. Okay. What I know is this is a gigantic mistake. And the Yankees are dancing into the ALCS. The Cleveland Guardians handed this to them. They gave it to them. Here it is. We talked yesterday about Aaron Savali. Okay. I almost feel like I should take credit for a dub here, keeping my stats on baseball. I won't, but I feel like I should because I told you last night, you know what I told you? The Yankees are going to win that game against Aaron Savali by 3 or more runs. I told you. We did an exotic prop and a parlay and the whole thing. Parlay would have lost because I had the Chargers last night. But I predicted that the Yankees would beat Savali by 3 or more runs. They beat him by 4 runs. Okay? It's a no-brainer. Everybody in the world today who knows anything about baseball said the Guardians are starting Savali. And then I looked it up and I'm like, wait, so this would be 3 days of rest for Bieber. Oh, wait, my producer at NBA Radio on Sirius XM is telling me Cortez is going today. And I said, Cortez is going. Is Bieber going? And he said, no, Bieber's not going. I said, why isn't Bieber going? He said, I don't know. And so now we're getting the answer on that. And I don't like the answer. It's 3 days of rest, man. It's not 2 days of rest. Freaking Bumgarner and Kershaw and Scherzer and all these badass pitchers have pitched on 1 day of rest, 2 days of rest. Yo, man, you need an inning? I got an inning in me, right? All hands on deck, baby. No, I can't give you 80 pitches tonight. I can give you 25 pitches tonight. That's what I'm talking about. That's playoff baseball, man. That's how you win a freaking World Series. All right. Terry Francona 1-8 in his last 9 closeout games. Anthony Rivera is telling me right there. Anthony, I'm not sure if your voice is going over the air here or not. Tell me real quick. So we're still getting some of the kinks worked out here on Bettor Sports Network. Anthony, can I hear you over the air when you're telling me that stuff? All right. So Anthony's kind of feeding that in my ear right here. He just gave me a stat that Terry Francona 1-8 in his last 9 closeout games. So maybe we're at a point here where Terry Francona is just freaking overrated. All right. Maybe he's just overrated. I mean, this is just absolutely god awful, man. So I tell you what, I want to get a couple of more prop bets in here, and then we'll complete that sequence for you. And we'll bring on Casey Joyner here in just a moment. So I'm over Anthony Davis at 9.5 rebounds. I like Embiid. I like Anthony Davis's double-double tonight. It's a plus 110. And I do believe he's going to be 10 and 10 in the points and the rebounds. And here is a prop bet wager for you that is born of intel that I got from working on NBA radio today. Check out this quote from Klay Thompson. He was asked, what do you expect this season by Mark Medina of NBA.com? He said, quote, I expect to play at an all-star level again and hopefully become an all-star. Early on, I'm on a minutes restriction. So I will try to be as efficient as I can with those 20 minutes. Stop right there. If Klay Thompson's going to play 20 minutes tonight, which I believe because he had a slow start, came into camp, not ready for live action yet because he didn't go live with scrimmages in the offseason. He was worried about getting hurt again, and all that's fine. But he got a very, very slow and slow ramp up to the season. He's not fully ready for prime time yet. He played in the last preseason game, did not play all that well. And so now they're going to kind of like ease him into this, right? I am buying the 20-minute right there. I think he will be capped at 20, maybe 22 tonight. But again, I don't think the game's going to be that close. He might not even get to 20 minutes. Klay Thompson's point prop is 15.5. I'm under this. Could he catch fire tonight, go whap, 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 and hit 4 threes and win this prop? Yep, he could. But all the trends coming in are telling us to take the under on this one. Vegas is, in my opinion, not building in the minutes restriction that he is on here. This is us having an advantage over Vegas. I mean, it's rare, but I feel like we've unearthed it right here. In 20 minutes, do you feel like Klay Thompson's going to hit for 16, 17, 18 points tonight in his second game after not going live the entire offseason? Come on. It's not how it works. It would be a miracle if he did that. So take the under on Klay Thompson at 15.5 points. And we are going to come back with Casey Joyner. He's with The Athletic, covers fantasy football. He's with Fantasy Football Diehards as well. And he's with the Philly Inquirer as well. All these multi-gig guys. I love it. I am that. He is that. And Casey Joyner will be on with your boy Rick Kamla on Bettor Sports Live right after this.
Corey, Nando, and Friends, presented by Mayo Media on Bettor Sports Network.
I'm convinced that Babe Ruth is a fictional character. Babe Ruth is not real. No, it's not. Babe Ruth is not real. We've been hoodwinked. We've been bamboozled. We've been led astray. We've been run amok.
Keep going.
Babe Ruth, I don't know the rest. Babe Ruth is a fictional character. I'm dead serious. Babe Ruth is a fictional character. Y'all are never going to get me to believe that Babe Ruth is real. Babe Ruth is like a baseball Santa Claus. I'm not buying it. After I saw those highlights last night of Babe Ruth, I'm like, there's no way you can tell me that Babe Ruth is a real person. Who do you know? There is nobody under the sound of my voice that has ever seen Babe Ruth play. I asked my pop, you ever seen Babe Ruth play? He's like, no. Nobody's ever seen Babe Ruth play.
I mean, come on.
I'm telling you, Babe Ruth is a fictional character. Even Babe Ruth baseball cards, it looked like it's drawn. Like, Babe Ruth is not real. Y'all trying to pull a fast one. Listen, I don't know who made this up. Maybe it was Phil Rizzuto. Maybe it's the Lenny Melnick. But Babe Ruth is not a real person. There's no way. Everything about Babe Ruth is sketchy. If you didn't go to the games, how do you know that it really happened? Or I listened on the radio. You listen to Ovaltine on the radio. That old school radio was all fiction. Everything on old school radio was fake. But you think Babe Ruth is real?
Look, he lived until 1948. So if you find someone who's like 85 years old, they might have remembered him when he was little, when they were a little teenager.
Babe Ruth was made up by baseball purists. I am certain.
You do that thing where you pause the Babe Ruth video and you zoom in and you zoom in and you zoom in. And you see like some artist's autograph like right here.
Yeah,
like digital art right here. Yeah.
Somebody need to investigate this and see if Babe Ruth is a real person. I'm pretty sure Babe Ruth is a fictional character created to make people think that like there was this great jolly old baseball player that drank beers and ate hot dogs and hit 60 home runs. Like the home run record before Babe Ruth was like 14. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like And
But
now
he figured it out, like who figured out the dunk, right? Like he's just like,
that's like
get it
Dr.
over
J
here.
or something, right? Then Dr. J, probably was before Dr. J, but Dr. J made the dunk famous. Babe Ruth made the home run famous, or maybe that was a way to get people to like, we're gonna make baseball America's pastime. But in order to do so, we need somebody who we can make the face of the sport. And they didn't have no face of the sport. So they're like, okay, let's make him a fictional guy that played for the Red Sox and was traded to the Yankees for like tickets to tickets to cats. You know what I'm saying? Like the Red Sox get a Yankees.
You tried to say Les
There's
Miserables.
is there any footage of Babe Ruth in the Red Sox uniform? None. I'm telling you, Babe Ruth is a fictional character.
All right, we are back on Bettor Sports Live. It is Rick Kamla, and we are now joined by KC Joyner with the Athletic Fantasy Football Diehards, covers the Eagles for the Philadelphia Inquirer. KC, I want to make you feel good as you come on in here, man, with your boy Rick Kamla on opening night in the NBA. We got Sixers and Celtics right around the corner. Fly, Eagles, fly, brother.
Yeah, fly Eagles fly. They've got more ways to win than any team in the league. I am a little worried about them and that they get out to big leads and they kind of cruise from there. They need to get out of that bad habit. But hey, it worked the last 2 weeks, so you got to enjoy that going into your bye.
It was a real nice comeback by Dallas, I thought, in that game. And so, Casey, let's start there. We'll talk Bills Chiefs. We'll get into last night's game and talk about as much NFL as we can here. As the first game here is about to get off with the NBA, with the Sixers and the Celtics. But I thought it was a good comeback by Dallas. But once again, Philadelphia's defense, I mean, Darius Slay, the plays that he's making, Bradbury, the plays that he's making, that secondary is ridiculous. They're sticky. They're all over receivers, man. And it was too much for Rush, right? And I kind of, Casey, was thinking that at some point here, like Daniel Jones and the Giants are defying this, right? But we expect a regression to the mean. And we kind of got it from Cooper Rush and the Cowboys, I thought, on Sunday, didn't we?
We did. And I got to give the Dallas credit, though. As you were saying, they deserve credit for the comeback because they didn't get out of who they are. They know with Cooper Rush at quarterback, we've got this path to victory. It's tough defense. It's a running game. It's a passing game that doesn't go deep very often, but it's effective when it does. That's their formula. And they didn't get away from that. They said, we're still going to go this route. And we're going to see if we can make a comeback with it. It didn't work, but it gave them that they did stick with that, show some patience by the coaching staff. When they get Prescott back, and I guess Jerry Jones just said today that Prescott is really wanting to come back for this matchup against Detroit. They can beat Detroit without him. So if he needs one more week, not a big deal. But if he comes back, now they'll have other paths to victory as long as he stays healthy. So I got to give Dallas credit, though, because there have been times in the past where they've not stuck with what they do, and now this week they did.
KC, let's go to the Bills and Chiefs game. I'm in the concern zone with Patrick Mahomes. And let me explain.
Okay.
I've had a vibe about Josh Allen, right? He's been not like Tony Romo and Kirk Cousins, but we just see little cracks in big moments. The end of the Miami game this year, what the hell was that? Not the clock running out, but the possession before that, the throw right at the dude's feet on fourth down. Like, what is that? Just a horrible throw, just a hand around your neck throw. We've seen some playoff failures from him, certainly not last year. So, and I'm not saying that Josh Allen sucks, just like these are questions that I have about him, right? And like Pat Mahomes is feckless, right? He's perfect. He's Jordan in the clutch, right? Well, against Cincinnati, he was not. On Sunday, he was not. Josh Allen was super, super clutch in the second half, especially the fourth quarter of that game against the Chiefs. So it completely juxtaposed my expectations in the clutch zone for Mahomes and Josh Allen. What did you see from those QBs in that regard in Sunday's game?
What I saw from Buffalo is Buffalo realizes that they don't want to get into shootout games. Now, the thing is, if you look, and I define a shootout as when both teams score 24 or more points. When you look at the Chiefs' record, I believe it's since 2018, they're 36-3. I might be off by a game or two on these numbers, but my recollection is they're 36-3. And they don't get a shootout game, and they're 16-10 when they do. I mean, so you want to get them into a shootout game. Buffalo knows this, and Buffalo, by the way, for the past 3 years, they're 5-5 in shootout games, and 2 of those losses came to the Chiefs. And I know one of them was the playoff game with what happened at the end, and I get that. But Buffalo's thinking we don't want to get in a shootout with these guys. We want to be in a lower scoring game. That's why they went with what they call 12 personnel, a bunch during that game, 2 tight end sets. We're going to make sure we grind the ball. And the thing is, Kansas City's been wanting to keep away from shootouts too. So when both teams get away from shootouts, then Buffalo won this game, and I think it gives them a better chance to victory over Kansas City. So I think Kansas City needs to rethink their approach that if you're going to get with Buffalo, hey, put it to the floor and make Buffalo try and keep up with you in the shootout. Because, yeah, Buffalo's got some weapons, but so do you. And Buffalo, I don't think, handles that situation as well. Because if you play a low-scoring matchup with them, they have the better defense, and it tends to favor them in that situation.
It's a great breakdown. Casey Joyner is hanging out with Cam here. He's with the Philly Inquirer. He's with The Athletic, and he's with Fantasy Football Diehards as well. And he's also a contributor here on Bettor Sports Network. They got the starting lineups going here for opening night in the NBA, Sixers and Celtics. Are you a Philly? You work for the Philly Inquirer. Are you a Philly guy?
It's funny thing is that I'm born and raised in Michigan and live in Florida now, but I've had all kinds of Philly sports rooting for over the years, so I can't call myself a fan and things, but yeah, I mean, we tend in this house to be pulling for the Steelers, we pull for the Eagles, we tend to pull for the Pennsylvania teams in this household. So yeah, it's fired up to see them see the Sixers kick or tip off tonight.
So we are underway. Embiid with an early miss. Where do you live in Florida, by the way? I'm in Florida too. I'm in Largo. You know where Largo is, right?
I do. I'm in Altamont Springs, Florida, just outside of Orlando, just north of Orlando. So,
okay, because I didn't read up when you said Altamont Springs. I was like, where's that? But I love Orlando. I was just there last week covering the Magic training camp for NBA radio. Orlando and Austin are my 2 favorite, small-ish cities in America. I love them both. So how far is Altamont Springs from Orlando? How far are you away?
Probably about 15, 20 minutes from downtown if you go on 4 and things. 30 if you take the back roads and things. Yes, it's there's a lot of suburbs around there. And this is one of the nice ones. So we've been here a long time. It's we're not native Floridians, but when you've been here over 30 years, you kind of can call yourself a Floridian at that point, I think. Interesting.
I've been here just over 2 years. Marcus Smart, by the way, trivia question, first basket of the NBA season. All right, so let's talk about last night's game. I don't know if I'll ask you about the Chargers or not. Okay. I don't know if I'll ask you about that or not. I may not. I'm a stream of consciousness guy. What I want to bounce off you just a question, and you could probably infer from this whole setup here that it's a loaded question. Is Russell Wilson washed?
I don't think so. I think Russell Wilson is probably injured. When you hear him now, they're talking about they got a shot in the shoulder, and you see all this talk of okay, he might be banged up, and that would make sense when you look at last night's game, because in the first quarter he's 10 for 10 for I want to say 160 yards, 3 for 3 on vertical passes. He's been doing okay, above average, but not great in vertical passes. So he hits all those plays. So if you had to get, and I don't know the medical on this, and also don't quote me from that perspective, but if a player gets a pain-killing shot or something to make their shoulder feel good in the before the game, I would think that that would work well in the first half, and then the second half probably wears off. So I think he might be banged up. I also, when you look at their numbers, though, if you look at just from a straight metrics perspective, Denver has some of the worst red zone numbers in the league, and they have some of the highest passing red zone numbers in the league. So they're not scoring well. They were dead last in red zone scoring percentage going into last week, and I think they're still there. And they're like 6th in red zone pass percentage. So I think they're getting to the red zone and saying, okay, Russell, we're going to let you throw the ball. And when you get that close and it's not working, and frankly, they need to be thinking about trying to use their running backs, because Melvin Gordon can score from in close. He's shown that. He scored 8 touchdowns for 4 or 5 straight years prior to this year. You've got Latavius Murray now. You've got Mike Boone. You've got guys who can put the ball in the end zone on the ground. So they need to go to that approach. And I think they haven't done that because they don't want to tell Russ, hey, we're going to run the ball in close. They want to trust him, and they really need to go a different direction.
I love the breakdown. The crazy sequence here in this basketball game. Jason Tatum just volleyball spiked. Who was it? Maxey out of bounds. Embiid came back and just volleyball spiked Derek White out of bounds. Like Bill Russell blocks. Like we're early on, and Philly and Boston's already off to a good start here. Casey Joyner of The Athletic, Fantasy Football Diehards, and also the Philly Inquirer. I'm with Rick Hamley here on Bettor Sports Live on opening night in the NBA. KC, is there a running back that you would rather have in a full point PPR league than Austin Eckler?
My concern for Eckler is if you look at his track record, that he came into the season and said, I don't want to carry the ball as much. I don't want as much workload as you gave me before because you gave me they gave him a career high workload last year in carries. And the thing is it looks like they're going to give him even more carries this year. So that's my concern is that, okay, are they starting to rotate other backs in to take some of the wear and tear away from him? If I would say yes, to answer the question from just a pure perspective there. But what I'd like to see is them give him some break, some relief inside the 20s, and then use him a lot in the red zone because he was second in the league last year in red zone carries last year, which is fine. He's a touchdown scorer, and if you get that close and have a guy who could do it, you need to get the ball to him. But inside the 20s, I'd like to see Sony Michel, and I'd like to see other people get some carries to take a little bit of the workload off him because they need to be thinking about an 18-game season. They can't just say, hey, we need to win now. You've got to, you can do it with the kicker last night and have him at 2 to 4 weeks. You can do it for one game, but you really need to be thinking about Eckler, your star, and making him last for a full season. Because I think if they try and give him 300-plus touches like they are right now, I wonder if he's going to wear out.
Good point. It is, Casey. Early 9-2 burst here by Boston. They're handling Philadelphia so far. It's extremely early in the game. And we're breaking down the week 6 slate in the National Football League. Cam and Casey joining here on Bettor Sports Network. Let's talk MVP. I feel like, Casey, and I'm going to make this point in greater detail here as I continue on here after we let you go, that I feel like we might have just watched Josh Allen win the MVP award with that victory. And again, I know it's a bit of like a question / tease because I'm going to pay that off here in a little bit. But where are you at with MVP? And were you watching that game going kind of like, yo, man, Josh Allen might be winning the award right here in this game?
He very well could. A lot of times with the MVP, the award gets decided before later in the season. It's one of the things that's kind of frustrating about MVP voters. And they say they're kind of like Heisman voters, that it can be week 10 and they've already made up their minds or basically made up their minds. And at that point, somebody's got to lose it. So, yeah, I think it was a big thing for them. I'll tell you something about Josh Allen from a fantasy perspective, too, by the way. He coming in since the NFL AFL merger in 1970, only 2 quarterbacks have finished first in fantasy points for 3 straight years, Brett Favre and Steve Young. And that was in the 90s when they did that. Nobody's done it since. In fact, nobody had done it back-to-back since Dante Culpepper in 2003, 2004. So or 2002, 2003. So it'd been a long time since anybody had done it. He looks like he's going to win a 3rd straight. He's easily first in points. And by the way, he scored 23 or more points in every game. When you look at the track record of quarterbacks putting up that many points in that many consecutive games, it's incredibly rare what he's doing from a fantasy perspective. So he is a league winner for fantasy managers. I think he's definitely a league MVP, and I think from the NFL perspective, he is right now too.
Let me ask you a question then. If you're the numbers that you just gave are absolutely jaw dropping, especially in the historical context. Casey, do you like? Maybe you were already that heading into this year. Are you like, yo, Josh Allen is the number 1 overall pick in fantasy drafts in like 1 quarterback leagues, not 2 quarterback league, but in a 1 quarterback league? Is the difference in math so vast between Josh Allen and then the next highest scorer, regardless of what position it is? Are you a Josh Allen number 1 overall pick in a 1 quarterback league guy?
I really couldn't be, only because if you ask me right now, yeah, because this year, if you go look at the NFL landscape, I was doing this last night, looking over, doing some research, and if you look at the ADPs for quarterbacks, for the top quarterbacks, it's like 7 of the first 8. You could look at their ADP and go, okay, they did okay, they're fine. Pretty much everybody else, you go, yep, injured, underperforming, injured, underperforming, all the way down the line for all the other quarterbacks. And it's affecting fantasy scoring across the board. There's all kinds of leagues. In fact, every manager I'm hearing from is saying, hey, I'm having a tough year, not because they have bad picks, but because this guy, Russell Wilson's not doing well. Aaron Rodgers not doing well. The Packers are about to. You can go on.
Dak Prescott is hurt.
Dak Prescott's hurt. Yeah, the whole 9 years, you can go team after team after team after team after team, and you've got this. And it reflects in over-under point totals for games, too. They've been very low this year. And I keep looking at this going, okay, if I had to redraft, I might take Allen first overall just because, hey, he's been healthy and one of the few point producers. Because people who are winning in leagues right now, for the most part, you've got Allen, you've got Stephon Diggs. I mean, Mahomes has done pretty well, too. He's only 5 points per game behind Allen, and he may close that gap. That would be the caveat there to say, hey, if Mahomes stays that close or gets a little closer as the season progresses, I would change my mind to say, okay, I could maybe not take, maybe take Mahomes at 5 as opposed to taking him at 1. But from that perspective, right now, the league guy who's winning leagues for people right now is Josh Allen, because there aren't too many other players. Maybe a Saquon Barkley, if you got him as your RB2, guys who are putting up those sorts of points, because points are just at a real premium this year in fantasy football.
Why do you think that is? Would you give more credit to the defense, or is it just bad offense? Because I've been noticing it, Tom Casale, we talked about it. Like, there's so much bad football going on. Offensive numbers are down. It seems like I'm 3-3 in almost every one of my leagues. He had the same story. Justin Fensterman had the same story. Another host whose name's escaping me, Corey Parson, who's coming on the show later, he had the same story. Like, I can't get out of mediocrity right now. I can't.
Yeah.
Do you have a similar story, Casey?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a couple leagues where it's a bad season. I've got one league where I've done better than expected, but it is a cross league. All the leagues I'm in too, it is. I'm gonna say mediocrity. It's NFL loves parity. I'm seeing it fantasy football in every league I'm in. I mean, it's people just can't get it, and it's because of that. It's a combination of things. I think a lot of it though goes to we had an NFL golden age of quarterbacks for a time there, and you look back at that period when you had Manning and you had Brady and you had Rodgers and you can go down the line. You had like 10, 15 elite quarterbacks, Roethlisberger, Rivers. You keep going, and now you look at the league and go, okay, where are our great quarterbacks? Well, Brady's not at that level anymore in fantasy. He's not, at least. Rodgers is not there. Russell Wilson dropped off, and you look at the offensive play and it's not happening. And I think this is why it's another stat. I don't know if this actually happened or not. I remember that going in week 4, though, going into the Monday night game, I think if the teams would have put up 140 yards rushing, it was right around that. If they put 140 yards rushing, it would be the most rushing yards in a single week in the NFL since like 2005. The NFL is going back to being run heavy because they have to, because you don't have these great quarterbacks anymore. You got solid quarterbacks, but you have to have a running game to make things move today. And I think that's why you have to have running backs in fantasy football now in a way you didn't 10 years ago. You must have them. And that's why I don't think you can rely on quarterbacks in NFL football or in fantasy, because it just right now, the talent level at that position is just not where it was a few years ago.
It's not, Casey. It's not. One more and we'll let you go here. An overall question here, merging a couple of train wrecks that are happening simultaneously.
Sure.
The Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, literally both quarterbacks largely look like garbage this year. Rodgers had 2 throws of note against the Jets. He had the beautiful sideline ball over the shoulder to Lazard. The TD pass to Lazard was also very, very nice. Threw it right to the pylon, right where only his guy could get it. Everything else was flush. It was either a check down or a bad throw. Brady can't even move anymore, can't even shimmy in the pocket anymore. Who's in more trouble, Green Bay or Tampa Bay?
I'll make 2 comments. One on Rodgers just said recently, it was a Twitter post on it, where he was saying that he thinks that they used to play the West Coast offense there, and now they're playing a schematic offense, and it's hard to explain the difference between the two in a easy to digest way. But it basically is how you're responding to the defense. Are you having to put the defense in a certain setup before you throw, or can you just throw against them regardless of it? It's a difference between the systems. And he actually said he's told the head coach, he's told LaFleur, hey, I want you to stop running so many plays with motion because I want to get a static look at the defense. So it's an interesting thing that I think that's part of it. There is that when you hear that, you say, okay, LaFleur might be able to make some adjustments that can make Rodgers more effective. I think that's where you've got there. I'm more worried about Tampa Bay because Todd Bowles. There's an interesting. You remember Dr. Z from Sports Illustrated?
Yes.
Dr. Z was the guy who gave me my career break years ago. Wrote a good article about a book I wrote, and Dr. Z said in one of his books that, hey, I think that coaches, if they do badly in their first NFL coaches, football coaches, if they do badly in their first time around as a coach, they don't do well in their second time around or third time around. It's not like baseball where Joe Torre could go have a couple of bad stints as a manager, have terrible teams, and suddenly he takes over the Yankees and he's in the Hall of Fame now. It doesn't happen like that in football. And Todd Bowles right now, and then 100. I want to say it's 194 coaches with 50 or more games coached. He ranks 157th in win percentage. He did not do well with the Jets. The Jets by the end of his last season with the Jets, you could look and see his players kind of. In my impression, this is just my impression from watching the games. I thought the players were checking out with him. They were like, we don't have a lot of faith in you as coach. And you could see his thing was, I don't have a lot of faith in you guys as players. There was a players versus coaches battle going on. And you hear him talking now. They laid an egg against Pittsburgh. And then he comes out and says, hey, we got a big Super Bowl hangover over here. And he's blaming the players. And it's like, guy, you had players versus coaches problems a few years ago. And if it gets to that route, you don't want it to be. There's always a natural tendency for it to be it's players versus coaches versus management, players versus management. The teams that manage that natural tendency to battle, each of those factions to battle each other, the teams that manage that well win. The teams that don't have problems. And right now, I don't think Tampa Bay is managing it well. And if that continues, they've lost 3 out of 4. I think they could have a really tough season in front of them.
Look, KC, your analysis is absolutely outstanding. You're getting a lot of DAP and a lot of credit and praise here in our comment area. And we appreciate your time, man. We really do. KC, I look forward to our next visit. Keep up the great work on all of your platforms.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, KC Joyner right there, folks. I want to encourage you to give him a follow on Twitter at KC Joyner. That's Joy with a Y, N-E-R, TFS. KC Joyner, TFS on Twitter. Give him a follow. He's with the Athletic, Fantasy Football Diehards, and the Philadelphia Inquirer as well. In moments, we're going to bring on Corey Parson here, and I'm going to give you some more betting advice here. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll bring on Corey. By the way, the Sixers made a comeback here, and I believe they had a lead as they went to a break. They're in a timeout right now, Sixers and Celtics. I have a 2-team parlay for you, okay? It involves the well, I guess it's already gone off here. Maybe you can do this live, but Philly +3 and Golden State -7.5. Merge those two. Those are the 2 picks I'm on right now. This morning when I looked it up, it was +264. May still be out there for you in a live betting scenario. What I want to give you right now is betting advice on the NLCS Game 1 and the series, okay? In the series, the Phillies are a +105. The Padres are a -125. I like the Phillies. We've been talking about this. I love their vibe right now. They're a freight train. They've got the spark. They've got the love. They've got the mojo. They've got that special playoff magic thing going on. And it's really palpable and really obvious to me. So I like them to win this series, but it's more than that, right? The Phillies might have the best lineup in baseball. The Phillies have the better bullpen of these 2 teams, comparing them to San Diego. And when you talk about lineups, again, Philly might have the best in the league. The starting pitching, I would give an advantage here to San Diego. I would. Not a huge advantage, but an advantage. Wheeler and Darvish are going to go tonight. Okay, that's probably a push. Nola and Musgrove. Okay, that's probably a push. And then you get into the ranks here with Philly, Noah Syndergaard, Ranger Suarez, Bailey Falter versus Snell, right? So they have an advantage with that third starter, definitely with Snell over what Philly can put on the mound. There's no question about that. And so, that it's a very, very tight series. I'm not saying Philly's going to run away and hide, probably win in 6 games or something like that. Maybe go to San Diego and win a Game 7. But Philadelphia has more overall talent. And at some point, the Padres have to feel the absence of Fernando Tatis, don't they? At some point, because and you say, well, Cam, the Braves won without Ronald Acuna last year. Okay, that's fine, but you had an unbelievable talented team around him. I don't look at the Chargers and see an the Padres and see an unbelievably talented team. I see a talented team and a team that's overachieved to get to this point. And I think it ends here. I got Philly winning the series, but I have San Diego winning tonight. How about that? I think home field advantage is going to be crucial tonight. I'm taking San Diego -120. So I'm Phillies in the series. I'm San Diego tonight. Electric home field advantage. We're going to feel it. It's going to be a big motivating factor and a big boost for the team. The trends for both pitchers are awesome. Okay, so we got to look somewhere else for a difference here. And watching the games when the Padres beat the Dodgers, just like crazy crowd reactions, and I love it. And so in Philly, I'm going to feel the same way about the Phillies. But tonight it's in San Diego, and I'm going that way because the pitching matchup is so tight between these two studs, Darvish and Wheeler. Darvish is 2-0 in the playoffs, wins at the Mets and at the Dodgers, okay? He's allowed 4 earned runs in 12 innings, so he's been really good. Darvish at home this year in the regular season, 2.60 ERA. In the second half of the season, had a 2.71 ERA. Head-to-head with Philly this year, Darvish was 1-0, 2.08 ERA, 14 Ks in 13 innings. I can't find a weakness, folks. Wheeler's only start against San Diego. He won, didn't give up a run, 9 Ks, 7 innings, 4 hits allowed. Unbelievable. Wheeler's very comfortable on the road now. Both of his starts in these playoffs have been on the road. At St. Louis, got a win, went 6 1/3, no runs allowed, 2 hits, 4 Ks. And at Atlanta, great offense. They beat him up a little bit. They put 3 runs on him over 6 innings. Still a quality start. He had 5 Ks. He has a 2.19 ERA in these playoffs with both games being on the road in very, very tough environments, okay? That's impressive. And Wheeler was dominant this year, had a 2.82 ERA, was 12-7 on the season as well. So I'm on Phillies to win the series. I'm on Padres to win tonight, okay? And in a moment, we'll bang on Terry Francona for his stupid-ass managing in the Guardians and Yankees game. But I'm going to catch a quick break right here. When we come back, I'll give you an update here on Philly and Boston. It is 15-11 Philadelphia right now. I took the 3 with Philadelphia, and so far so good on that. But we'll have Corey Parson coming up around the corner here, and we'll talk about this game. We'll talk fantasy football, and we'll have a good time because Corey Parson's a good time guy, and he's hanging out with your boy Cam next on Bettor Sports Live.
Bettor Sports Live with Lisa Ann and Rick Kamla. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific.
We've talked about this. You're not into that, to the dynasty thing.
I don't, dynasty is like a long-term relationship, and that just is really tough for me, Rick,
I understand.
It is such, and then when you say the 2 things that you say that probably scare me the most is a 14-team dynasty. Then I'm like, oh, this is a now complex relationship that requires a lot of my attention. Not
and
just
a dog that you don't like and all of that stuff, right?
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray. Weekdays at noon Eastern, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
I wish they'd get rid of instant replay. I think it's damaging to the sport. I just don't like it.
They will never get rid of instant replay on the broadcast. We demand it, and that's why. Remember, replay kind of rose out of the fact that people would sit at home and say, "Why can't they look at this? Why can't they see? I get to see the replay, and I know it's wrong. Why don't they get it?" So that said, okay, we'll have replay. Ray, we're never going to get rid of replay.
No.
Like you couldn't say, "Hey, the NFL will get rid of it, but we're not going to show it on broadcast." What if the NFL said, "We'll get rid of replay, but we will not show any instant replays at the stadium"? Would you be okay with, like, you'd still get them at home, and you could still yell at the TV, but the ref can't hear you there?
Right.
Like, I feel part of it is they have to have replay because the millions upon millions of people watching the game have replay. So, like, you can't not have replay when everybody else has it, but the guys making the decisions don't have it. Like, you gotta have replay. It's impossible.
It is impossible. It's just my dream. It doesn't help.
You need to get better dreams, Ray. That's not really like
it doesn't help. That's the thing. If we use replay and it creates as many questions as answers that it solves, what's the point of it?
Well, it's not going to change, Ray Flowers. You're going to be an old man still yelling at the replay cloud.
Bettor Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Lil Pantera bringing us back, man. Oh, I love it. Got a draft that's about to start, FSGA West. Honestly, I'm a little soft on an experts league for fantasy basketball being a 10-team league. I'm soft on that. I'm going to play in the league. I'm going to try to kick ass and take names because it's what I do, but it's 10 teams. Come on, man. It's an experts league. Let's challenge ourselves a little bit here. Let's challenge ourselves. Let's make it 12, 14. Let's really stretch out the rosters here. It's also a point league. I don't like point leagues. I'm old school. Your boy, Rick Kamla, I am the Naismith of the head-to-head fantasy basketball format that a lot of us play in a lot of situations. 1989 at Sigma Nu Fraternity, University of Minnesota, I concocted this method, and wrote it in print and fanball.com and NBA.com. And a lot of people play that way right now. Head to head is points, rebounds, assists, block steals, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, 3-pointers. You do turnovers. I don't do turnovers. It's an 8-cat head-to-head league. Okay. Head-to-head, me against you in all 8 of our categories. And we get a score at the end of the week, 6-2, 7-1, 4-4, whatever it is. And then that goes to our win-loss column. It's the best way to do it. Points? Not into it, man. I'm not into it. Is that a notification that I am now on the clock? Is this draft actually starting? We have Corey Parson right now, the fantasy executive. Corey Parson, man, there is so much going on tonight. Your boy Cam is in a fantasy basketball draft right now.
Okay.
With experts, FSGA West, and that draft is just about to begin. I have the 8th pick out of 10. But Corey, how the hell are you, man? Welcome to opening night in the NBA.
Definitely pumped up. Definitely looking forward to it. I've already been out. I got my snacks. I got my beverages. I got all my enhancements that I need to make it a good night. Night 1 in the NBA. See me, like the Tuesday, Thursday, short slate, fine. National games, the big teams. I'm ready for tomorrow night. I'm ready for Friday night. See, I'm a league pass guy. Like, I'm looking forward to Cleveland and Atlanta tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to those games. You know what I'm saying? That's how I rock, Rick. I'm looking forward to starting the journey, telling the stories throughout the whole year. So definitely glad to have the National Basketball Association back live.
Corey, the Hawks and the Cavaliers, that's the Rick Kamla Bowl. Those are the homies, okay? I worked in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I lived there for 11 years. I worked on the home of the Hawks for 7 years. And so, like, I'm not fanboy for them, but I know a lot of people with the team, and so I keep my eye on them. And then they're my Cavs. I got on last.
So what happened last year? What happened last year with the Hawks last year? Trip to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Then they come back, playing tournament, barely make the playoffs, up and down season. Everybody thought Young was going to be MVP candidate. Didn't happen. They go out this year. They make the move for Murray. Win total sitting at what? 44, 45 and a half-ish. Puts them in the middle of the Eastern Conference. What is the real Atlanta team? Is it a middle of the East team, a bottom of the East team, or a top of the East team?
They are pretty much right in the middle, Corey. Pretty much right in the middle. I have Atlanta at 8. So right smack dab in the middle of the East. I do have them in the playoffs, but you asked an outstanding question about last year. What the hell? What happened last year, Corey, was they were bored. Okay. They thought they made the mistake. They fell into a trap. The trap is thinking, okay, we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Trae Young got hurt. Giannis got hurt too, but okay, we lost. And okay, we are going to start next season right where we left off in the Eastern Conference Finals. We want to just go ahead and fast forward to the playoffs and advance through the 82. No. You know, we all know you're 0-0. Everybody's bagel to start the year. The Hawks did not have that mindset. They were bored at the beginning of the year. They had the mindset of entitlement that we're one of those it teams, and dang it, we should be advanced all the way, pass go and all this stuff. And so that was the problem with Atlanta last year, Corey. And they were a real inconsistent, really mentally weak team, I thought, last year.
I would agree. Now you ask yourself, McMillan, the job he did taking over, I forgot the young man he took over for the head coach. Lloyd Pierce, taking over for Pierce. They go on that run the second half of the season. He takes them all the way to the conference finals, right? Then he comes back and they drop a dud. Is he on the hot seat this year? Like, because they go out, they make the move, they get Murray. Now he comes back. You got a team, 45 wins, could be a 50-win team. You want to see this team at least in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs? If not, is McMillan on the hot seat?
It's a really good question. I think Travis Schlenk is on a hotter seat than Nate McMillan. Let me put it that way. Travis Schlenk is the president. Okay. He's the shot caller. He's been the architect of this thing. And look, Tony Ressler blesses every move that they make. Travis Schlenk is not spending money that Tony Ressler does not want to spend. But Tony Ressler went real aggressive. Paid Capella, paid Young, paid Collins, all in advance of last year. And it completely it was a nuclear mushroom cloud on him, right? You make the playoffs, but you go home early, all that kind of stuff. So that's not what Ressler wants. He wants to be one of the big boys.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's a year early to put Nate on the hot seat. I do think Travis Schlenk is on the hot seat. If this team doesn't bring it to a boil, they've got his ready-made replacement in Landry Fields. I think he's the GM now, and then Travis is the president. Well, they may, and I'm buddies with Travis, but I got to keep it real here. They may blow Travis out and make a move then up with Fields and think that, because you know how this goes, Corey. All right, we fall short of expectations. We got to make some kind of move.
Something has to be done.
Got to roll. We need some kind of pound of flesh. And I think it might be Travis Schlenk over a Nate McMillan. Hey, the draft has started. FSGA West. Corey, and not surprisingly, Jokic, the first pick. How many fantasy basketball leagues are you in, my man?
I'll be honest with you. I don't really do too many season-long fantasy basketball leagues. I'll dibble and dabble in some DFS. But normally I'm against the spread. I'm an ATS. I'm a side of total guy. I mean, every night of the league. You know what I'm saying? Every night of the year. Don't have nothing tonight on this on the second game tonight. I was on that not Boston. I was on the Philadelphia 76ers money line coming into the game, looking for a big night tomorrow. I'll do the prop bets and stuff like that. But it'll be interesting to see in fantasy this year how some of these players that's going to do, guys like Tyrese Maxey moving up, a Jordan Poole, a player like that, starting to see more time, get more minutes. You know what I mean? So I keep an eye on it. I know what everything's going on and what people are doing, but I don't really have too many leagues because it starts during the fantasy football season. Like if it started after the All-Star break, that would be perfect for me.
Yeah, it creates quite the juggle. I mean, look at me. I accepted the invite to this league, and I'm drafting it on the air right now. I was on Philly, and not that I'm complaining. It's all good. It's what we do. It's people say you're in so many leagues. Why? How? I said it's a lifestyle. Either you get it or you don't.
No doubt.
I was on Philadelphia +3 tonight. Boston, of course, the 3-point fave at home. They're up 25-17 right now. Who are you on? Did you think Philly was going to win this game, or did you think Boston?
Philadelphia money line in this spot right here. I believe their last 11, 9-2 ATS to the Sixers, 8-3 on the money line to the Sixers. It's a team Joel Embiid normally performs well against. Now, when I was doing Corey Nando and Friends earlier today, I saw where that line inched up. Some money hit the board, went from 2 to 3. It kind of scared me a little bit. Obviously, up to an early start in this game right here. I just look at this thing. I think the Celtics' key last year was their head coach. They got off to that slow start. The head coach got to them. They went on that fantastic run, and from December to the second half of the season. Without that head coach this year, I don't know how much I trust the Boston Celtics. 53.5 as a win total, or this ain't a 54-win team.
This is not a 54-win team, Corey. And I absolutely love the point that you made about Ime Udoka. Yes, he allegedly made a mistake or mistakes. Okay, we all get that. But he's a difference maker on the sideline. Rookie head coach all the way to the finals, pushes the right buttons, manages the team very well, handled DeMarcus Smart comments about Tatum and Brown very early in the year. So your boy's on the clock here. Let's see what's going on here, Corey.
What are you looking at?
8 picks are down. I'm looking at Trae Young here. It came down to basically 3 guys. I'm at 8, right? And I was Steph Curry. If he made it, he went. Karl Anthony Towns, if he made it, he just went. And so left here is Trae Young, James Harden, LeBron, Sabonis, LaMelo Ball, who's hurt, Ja Morant. As I take Trae Young right here, Corey, and I just banged him right there, I think that way. I got to actually put draft on this. Hold on, let me do this.
Yeah, you hate when that happens.
It's like you click on him. I thought it was drafted, and all it did was tee him up to be drafted. Okay, so he's mine. I got Trae Young. And I love Trae Young, and it's not. I love his game, right? I love the points and the assists. Led the NBA last year in total points and total assists. There's a narrative about him in fantasy, right? That DeJounte Murray is going to Pac-Man a lot of his production and sap his assists. I don't really look at it that way. I think that
team is still going to run through Trae Young.
Thank you. Talk to me.
That team is still going to run through Trae Young. I believe he's the best player. I believe he's the MVP candidate. I think Murray's a nice piece to put along with him. Now you can play Young off the ball a little bit, which would really help his career, help get him some open looks and stuff like that. I actually think the move makes Young better. I know Murray's going to get his, but it'll be the two of them getting theirs. And I think you can obviously you'll see Trae get a chance to play by himself a lot. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Don't get me wrong, I like Murray. He's a good young basketball player. They must be in tank mode in San Antonio.
Yes.
Even though I think Keldon Johnson's a very good player as well. Keldon Johnson's somebody to keep an eye on because he's going to get a lot of buckets. He's going to have a big fantasy year because that offense is going to run through him. With that being said, I think that Young is a good pick right there. The assists, the points, the threes. I would like the Trae Young pick right there. It's second for me would have been Sabonis.
It's a points league, which I don't like points leagues because it kind of takes the positional stuff out of it. It takes the categorical stuff out of it. I need threes, I need blocks, I need steals.
Yeah.
It takes it all out of it. It's like I'll play it. Hopefully I win it. And so I got the second pick here. I got 43 seconds left, Corey. Just took Young, and then it went Ja Morant and LeBron James. And so now I'm up. I'm deciding between Harden, Sabonis, but I see a guy just a little bit down here at number 18, and I think he should be higher than this. I'm going to go ahead and get me some shares of Damian Lillard, Corey Parson.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a points league, okay? It's like 1.25 for an assist, 1.5 for a rebound, all that stupid mathematical crap. Can we just play categories? But I'm going to be going for dudes to put the ball in the hole here, Corey. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel a big one coming from Damian Lillard. Do you agree with that? Not
a good year last year. Hurt most of the time. You saw them sell off with C.J. McCollum. The reason why they was able to sell off McCollum was because of the development of Anthony Simons. Simons, a guy that you could put on your list a little bit down the board. My thing is, what is this Portland Trailblazer team? Are they a playoff team in the West? Likely not. Damian Lillard, I don't want to say he's sitting there wasting his career. He'll be an all-star. He'll get his numbers. But what are they going to try to do with Portland? Are they in the take-a-palooza for my man, the big man? You know what I'm saying? Or is that what they're doing? Because I look at this Trailblazer roster, and I'm like, outside of Lillard and Simons, it's a little bit, but not much. This was a team that was competing. They were in the West Finals against the Warriors a couple years ago. And now this is a team that is an afterthought in the Western Conference, the Portland Trailblazers, despite having somebody as talented as Damian Lillard. It's interesting. It's going to be a shakeup there. I respect Lillard for saying, hey, I'm going to stick it out in Portland, but guess what? That may not be the best idea.
I believe, Corey, that the Blazers are going to earnestly try to compete this year, and they're not going to tank. They may get to a point where they make a decision to tank, but I actually think it's going to be too late, and I have Portland in the play-in tournament. And
really?
And if you're in I don't think they're going to win out, Corey. I do not have them in the playoffs, but I have them in the play-in tournament.
Okay.
So the bottom five, going to my list here, the bottom five are Sac, Houston, Utah, OKC, and San Antonio. 4 of those teams are tanking. Sac is not. They want to be a play-in tournament team too. So Sac, Portland, and LA, the Lakers to me will be the last 3 teams on the play-in tournament line. So I do think even if Portland falls short of the play-in tournament, it'll be by like 1 game. So okay. I feel like they want to be good, right? They do. They're not. OKC does not. San Antonio does not. Utah does not. Indiana does not. We know this, right? Portland's different. They're in maybe almost 2 tiers up from those teams. They are 2 tiers up from those teams. But Corey, we have hit on a very, very important piece for people here in fantasy basketball. And down the line, it will impact DFS. Down the line, it will impact point spreads and that kind of thing. But it definitely has impacted my drafting here and my multiple teams. Corey Parson.
Yo.
I am staying away from Thunder players and Jazz players.
Okay.
And Rockets players. And I like a lot of the guys on these teams.
Yeah.
The Indianas, I was going to say Detroit and Orlando, but I don't want to lump them in here because they actually believe in developing and losing at the same time. But the teams in the West do not, because Orlando ran their guys all last year. Detroit ran their guys all last year. And because they want to develop, and they're doing this smartly. They're smartly tanking. And boom, Orlando got rewarded for it, right? They got the number 1 pick in the draft. But I have literally avoided teams that I feel like are definitely going to tank. And Portland has not been one of those teams, Corey. I've been going with the Blazers. I've been going with some Blazers players.
All right, there's a couple things that I'll come back at you with right here. First of all, where you see the New Orleans Pelicans finishing this season. Nice run last year.
I got them at 6 in the West, Corey.
So they're going to be in the regular playoffs. They'll skip the play-in tournament.
Correct.
I can see that being the case. Zion plays, Willie Green, put that team together. You saw I came together nicely last year. I was on there over at 39.5 last year, was able to bring that one home. Now, I can see that being the case. I tell you what, though, some of the teams you mentioned, I think there's a couple angles. After the trade last year with the Tyrese Halliburton trade, the Pacers, they played better. But what I did notice is you can play the over on the Indiana Pacers, this new look Pacer team, get up and down the field faster. Up the field, excuse me, it's NFL season. Up and down the court faster. So I played the over in Pacers. I think that's going to be something that you can see coming up as we start the season. Another thing, where are you at on the Detroit Pistons? A lot of smart NBA people, betting analysts, NBA people think that Dwayne Casey is going to have this team in the play-in tournament. Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Sadiq Bey, Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart, Bagley on the bench. There's some pieces there. It's a good head coach. I think the Detroit Pistons are a 38-39, I mean not 39, but a 37-38 win team. Better than Washington, better than Indiana, better than Charlotte. Maybe not better than the Knicks, depending on what happens. You can never judge with the Knicks, you know what I'm saying? But with that being the case, curious your thoughts on Dwayne Casey, a good head coach and a good young team. Now you add Ivy to the mix, you get a full training camp with Cunningham. I think Detroit could be cooking.
Could be. Corey, I hope you're right. I do. I hope you're right. I worked NBA radio today on Sirius XM with Amin Al-Hassan. He was in for Antonio Daniels today. And he has Detroit in the play-in tournament. All right. He has them at number 10, not winning out, but making the play-in tournament. And I'm not there with you and Amin in terms of, I think we're a year ahead of schedule. I think we're 1 year ahead of schedule. And they've got nice pieces. And you mentioned who those nice pieces are. Not crazy about their bench. And they just don't know how to win yet. Okay, they just don't know how to win yet. And so I think there's going to be a lot of, like, to the Bostons, the Phillies, the Dubs, the Raptors, the Hawks, like the good teams that know how to close in the fourth quarter. I still think there's going to be some, oh my God, you should have gone, I should have gone. Oh my God, just that young fella confusion, that growing pain stuff that leads to losses. So I think next year is the pop for Detroit.
Okay.
But look, I hope you're right. I really do. And I am excited about Detroit. I'm going to watch the heck out of them. They're one of my favorite. They're a member of my League Pass 5, Corey.
Yeah.
I got a League Pass. I'm a big League Pass guy too.
Me too.
I'm an absolute junkie. And so I'll be honest with you, Corey. I'm not really Corey Parson, by the way, hanging out with Rick Kamla here on Better Sports Live. I love watching young teams on League Pass. I'm not really trying to watch. I mean, I will, but I'm not really trying to watch the Nets, the Warriors, the Bucks. I'm trying to watch the Rockets, the Cavs, the Pels, the Magic, the Pistons, right? The young, sexy, up-and-coming teams. Are you with that too?
I'm all for it. I tell you what, my favorite team to watch, League Pass, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. And not so much because of the Cleveland Cavaliers and their style of basketball, which I do like. I'm not a big Donovan Mitchell guy. You know what I'm saying? Remember, I'm a Memphis Grizzly guy. So I don't like what Mitchell did to my Grizzlies a couple years ago in the first round when they were the 1 seed. With that being said, Austin Carr is the best color analyst on League Pass. He is the best local color analyst in the NBA. He's fabulous, a great watch. That's why I like the Cavaliers. The Toronto Raptors, another team that I enjoy watching on League Pass as well. I think the Raptors are an interesting team this year. I look at them, right? The problem is their starting 5 is good. The bench is suspect. So I worry about the depth of the Toronto Raptors. But a guy like Precious Achiuwa could be a 6-man candidate.
I like Precious Achiuwa, and I love your breakdown right there. Corey, I was just on the clock, and I just took Nikola Vucevic. So
another good, and that Chicago thing. What's that Chicago thing going to look like this year?
I think they're going to ultimately fail because of the Lonzo Ball injury. I think the Lonzo Ball injury is like a chop at your legs move. Wait, did Cade Cunningham just go? I was looking at him. No, he's still out there. All right, Corey, we're on the clock here. Let's make a move here. I don't have a forward yet. It's a points league here. God, there's talent out here, man. Van Vliet is still out here, very, very late. Kawhi. I mean, I've already got 2 guards. So
Van Vliet get you those steals.
He does, but it's not a category league. It's a stupid
right.
points league.
And then
right?
with Kawhi, you got to worry about load management.
Yes, you do, Corey. Yes, you do.
He created load management.
Greg Popovich created load management, man.
You're right. You're right. Pop did create it. Well, Kawhi was there. You know what I'm saying? So he was a part of it.
You know what, Corey? I'm at a bit of a loggerhead here. Donovan Mitchell's out here. Bradley Beal's out here. Am I going to take another guard if I am?
Beal is going to put up buckets. He's the only player on that team playing off of Porzingis. I'm not a Kristaps Porzingis guy at all. I think he's an overrated player. But I can see Beal being a guy to get you some buckets, could lead the league in scoring this year because he's the only option in DC. I mean, Kyle Kuzma's there, but Kyle Kuzma's no Bradley Beal. So maybe that's a guy for you.
I literally just took Beal.
Yeah.
I'm a Beal guy. I got him in the Cam Dynasty. It's a 14-team dynasty basketball league that I run, and I'm a Beal guy. And again, it's a points league. It's not a category league.
Yeah.
I did want to go with a forward or a big right there. I don't trust Jimmy Butler to play more than 55 games.
I agree with you again on that. And I think that Miami Heat team, Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler being kind of who that team runs through. Well, coach, don't get me wrong. We'll be in the playoffs. I can see them being a 6th seed in the East, like just missing the play-in tournament. I don't know about those players, particularly Lowry. That team needs a point guard. They don't have one. Speaking of teams that need a point guard, you mentioned Lonzo Ball, right? Dusamu, Caruso. What happened to Kobe White? I thought Kobe White was going to be a player. Kobe White's like a 0 now. Is it a trade? Some new scenery?
Yes.
What's going on with Kobe White? Because I feel like Kobe White can play.
Corey, Kobe White's one of the homies, okay? I love him. I scouted him in North Carolina. I freaking loved him in North Carolina. You know, big old fro coming downhill on you.
Yeah.
He had the crossovers. He had the pull-up jumpers.
He had the float. He had the float game. He got the float game. Yeah.
Come on, man. Sing it. Look, you know this, Corey. It's all about fit. And for whatever reason, they can't find a home for him. I think he's a badass off the bench because he's not really a point guard. He's not really a 2. He's kind of a blend of, he's a guard, right? He can do it all. He's not great really at anything, but he's good at everything. So to me, he's like your 6th man, like in the hero role, the Jamal Crawford role, the Lou Williams type of role. But I mean, they can't even find that lane for him in Chicago.
It's exactly. This Bulls team, if I'm not mistaken, last year going into the All-Star break, they were the top seed in the East. DeMar DeRozan having an MVP campaign. Now, so you mean to tell me just by losing Ball, they're a team that we're fading this year? Win total at 41, 42 in that range? I would think a team with DeRozan's a little bit better than that. I don't know if they're in that Cleveland, Atlanta, Toronto mix, but they may be right below that.
I'm with you. I am. I agree with your evaluation on that team. All right, Phillies and Padres is underway, and we'll keep our eye on that.
Did you play the Philly special parlay? I played the Philly special parlay. I played the 76ers money line, the Phillies money line, and the Flyers on the puck line plus 1.5.
Wow,
that's the Philly special parlay. Let's see if that cashes tonight.
I like that a lot, Corey. I was on. I worried for a minute. I'm like, did I get these predictions out before you came on? I did. I got the Padres tonight. I got the Phillies to win the series. So that's how I view this.
Okay.
The Phillies to me are an absolute freight train right now. I'm on the Astros to win it all. And Corey, since you went to baseball, or maybe I went to baseball, I forget at this point. It's one of those stream of consciousness shows. I just took a moment to bang on Terry Francona. I grabbed the bat. He's the pinata. I took a couple of whacks. It felt good. No, I'm not a Guardians fan, but I'm an old school meets new school sports head, right? And when I see analytics literally take a team out of the playoffs, and whether it was Francona driven or front office driven, I am so pissed that it just. So take it from there. I mean, Bieber can't go on 3 days of rest. Are you freaking kidding me, man?
We see it in basketball. We see it in the NFL. I love the old Charles Barkley quote. He's one of those stupid guys that believe in analytics. I'm not going to go that far. I think it's a time and place for analytics. But what I don't like is how analytics is like all of a sudden a person. Like, why'd you do that? Analytics. Like, I know. Who is analytics? You're the head coach. Who's analytics? Stop telling me analytics when you go for it on 4th and 1 on your own 34-yard line. Why'd you do that? Analytics. Can you send analytics to the podium, man? What's going on? Cut the analytics crap out. I'm sick of it with the analytics. Go ahead. I made a bad decision. Stand up for it. But don't give me, that's what the analytics say. Cut it out.
I'm with you 1,000%. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Send analytics to the podium. He probably
God.
got like a pocket protector, glasses. I'm analytics.
You know what I want to do to analytics? I want to take the bat and beat it like a pinata.
Yeah, exactly.
And look,
I'm sick of this. This is the thing. Dallas Cowboys, my beloved Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy runs the clock out last play of the game versus the 49ers. We don't get a shot. Why'd you do it? Analytics.
Dude, you're an absolute blast, man. We know that the NBA is underway here, Corey. I look forward to a lot of subsequent conversations with you. It appears that I might even be able to get Jimmy Butler coming back here. And at this point, look, I usually don't do business with Jimmy Butler because he doesn't hit threes, right? Like you got to hit threes but it doesn't matter. It's a stupid points league. And so Jimmy Butler's still out there. Julius Randle is still out there. I need a forward next. So I think that's the direction I'm going. But Corey, enjoy the rest of opening night here and have a bunch of great shows coming up, man. And we'll talk soon. All right.
Yeah, we'll definitely get in touch. I'll holler at you, Rick.
All right, that's my guy right there, Corey Parson. Really appreciate him dropping by with your boy Cam here on Bettor Sports Live. And let me give you the rundown on Corey here, host of Corey Nando and Friends weekdays, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern time, right before Justin and Ronas hit the air. And then, of course, me at 7. He's also the host of Better Zone Sundays from 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. Wild window, right? That 1 to 5 window, taking you all the way through the early games. And then you've got the late games coming up. And he also hosts Homecoming on Saturdays as well, getting you all ready and totally dialed into college football. So, Corey, you the man, and follow him at The Fantasy Executive. That's how to get in touch with Corey and give him a follow on Twitter. Now, let's check out this draft here real quick. Where are we at? We're a couple of picks away. I'm going to take a break right now because, honestly, I need to go hit the head. So we're going to go do that. I'm going to get ready for this next pick. We'll get you caught up to speed with the Sixers and the Celtics. I'm going to start unpacking Week 6 in the National Football League as well. It is all coming up. You're in a good spot hanging with your boy Cam on Bettor Sports Live.
Call, chat, and enter contests in real time. It's Sports Talk 3.0 with Bettor Sports Network. Moose and Keith.
Because I never asked you this. When Noah was growing up, when did Noah first where you got a sense that this is what my son wanted to do?
I was really busy during his formative years. I didn't meet Noah till he was about 19.
Nice. So, your wife did a good job.
Yeah, you may want to talk to your wife. I would say about third season, he started showing a legitimate interest. He started getting curious about how I prepared, what it required, and then I saw a little bit of a shift, 14, 15, where he was concentrating on the on-cameras, the interaction between play-by-play and analyst, and started probably taking mental notes at that point of the performance aspect of, okay, you do all this prep, but you got to go out and deliver it. So, yeah, probably that 14, 15 range, I thought to myself, this could be something he really wants to do.
Front Yard Fantasy, weekday mornings at 7 Eastern on Bettor Sports Network.
You don't need to be like right 100% of the time.
No, there was a tweet about the refs that had me kind of cracking up the other day because somebody was like, we have the technology to track the ball down to a centimeter and figure out what speed these guys are running on the field. Yet somehow we still mark the ball by
That's my favorite.
a 60-year-old dude eyeballing it, and then we run over with literal chains and measure it. It's like, you think we could probably get that figured out.
The least precise way to measure something, and then immediately following that up with a super precise way of measuring something.
Yeah, it's like we have
what I love.
satellite.
Like if you're a millimeter short of that chain that they bring out there, that they ran out it as best they could in a straight line. But if you like, first they just go here, and then they grab the chains and they run in the straightest line possible. But then if you are 1 millimeter short with that football, it doesn't count. Sorry, couldn't have been human error. You're just short.
That's exactly. And they bring out the index card or whatever. Meanwhile, they have like, satellites in space tracking how fast Brandon Ayuk ran on an end around. But we can't.
and I can see that number live while he's doing it. Like I can see every player's speed on the screen live.
I love that. It's like, and not to mention like that dude's trying to make the spot, and the player always tosses the ball like right into his face. Right, like he's coming over to spot it, and it's like every other time the player's just like, "Here you go. Here's another thing to juggle."
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Is it me, Ray, or is the only publicity that Microsoft Surface has gotten out of their whole thing on the sideline is people throwing them to the ground in anger? Like, is that just a me thing? Or the only time I hear about this device, Ray, is when somebody is chucking it on the ground, just pissed off at it, which I get it. All of us are in that world. We love to do that. Only in the NFL, Ray, can they get away with it because these are free. There's no cost. It's part of the sponsorship. Here's 5,000 Microsoft tablets to get you through the NFL season, and these players just slamming them down. It's like they've become Gilbert on the sideline, and they're so frustrated. They're just like the only publicity this company and this product has gotten is negative.
Better Sports Network. It's sports talk done better.
We are back at Bettor Sports Live. It is Rick Kamla with you all, and we have a 47-43 Philadelphia lead over Boston. The guys that are getting busy right now, and as I looked over the props earlier today, wow, I'm glad I stayed off of Joel Embiid. I told you I wasn't feeling a big scoring night tonight. He's got 5 points and 5 rebounds. I did take the double-double prop on Embiid. I did go over 10.5 rebounds, so we're still very much alive with those, but his point prop was 26.5. He's at 5 points right now. That's a problem. Maxi's got 9 on his way to the 17.5 number. That was a stay away for me. James Harden he's already got 19 points. He's absolutely cooking. And his prop was 18.5. So he's already over his prop here in the first half. Very impressive. Tobias Harris is already over his prop at halftime. He's got 14. His number was 13.5. Very impressive stuff right there. I had the over on Tatum's rebounds at 7.5. He's alive. We got 3. One more here before the half would put us on a trend to go over on that number. He's at 11. His prop bet was at 23.5, I believe. He's on pace for that. I was on Jaylen Brown, the over on his points. He's at 14. That number was 22.5. So a lot of interesting stuff happening in this game so far. And it's been a good first half. Philly leading at Boston 52-47. Hey, there's another rebound for Joel Embiid. And 5-point lead here, 4:20 to go. Here's Embiid from the 3-line right wing, splash. Embiid said, I can still get the 26.5. Don't you count me out. Philadelphia's opened up an 8-point lead, by the way, in Boston. I was on Philadelphia plus the 3 points tonight. And in the FSGA West draft, your boy Cam is up here. It's a points league. It's a 10-team league, so it shouldn't be too hard to field a badass team. Problem is, every other person in the league is going to be saying the exact same thing. But in points leagues, I really look for the guys that score the ball. Duh, right? And you know me, I'm always preaching fantasy gold and blocks and steals and threes. Not in this league. It's a points league. Basically, it's a dumbed down league. I don't like it. These are experts. We're all experts. Let's pick categories. Let's do specific positions, not just guard, forward, center. Point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. I like making it more complicated and more challenging and more stressing than less. Maybe that's just me. Let's see here. I'm quite a ways from being back on the clock. I do badly need a forward on the way back. My team so far, first pick Trae Young. I had the 8th overall pick in a 10-team draft. Trae Young came back and took Damian Lillard at, what would it be, 12, and then took Bradley Beal. Again, I'm looking for points here, okay, not categories. And these guys are going to fill it up, and they get a lot of other goodies too. And then I took Nikola Vucevic. I took Jonas Valanciunas. It's a 2-center league, so I got both of my centers figured out there. And then I took Paolo Banchero because the forwards were getting a little bit thin, and I do like him. And I think he's going to have a fantastic year. I basically asked him point blank, how much are you going to play this year? Are you going to tank it up? You're going to rest? You're going to take a bunch of games on? And he's like, man, as long as I'm healthy, I'm playing 82. And he had like a really like ferocious and determined look on his face when he told me that. And so I was like, yeah, buddy. Yeah. I feel better about this. Now, obviously, the team might have other plans, and I will freak out if they shut him down with a month to go. I will freak out. I don't think they're going to do it, though. They didn't do it last year with Franz Wagner and Cole Anthony and Wendell Carter and Mo Bamba and all these guys. They played them very deep into the season, and they're trying to win. They're trying to turn the culture around in a winning direction. And if you tank and if you bottom out and shelve all of your guys, then you are literally like shooting yourself in the foot. You're literally like laughing at your own culture if you do it that way. So I don't think they're going to do it that way. I feel good about Orlando playing their guys all the way through. I feel good about Detroit playing their guys all the way through. Joel Embiid with an and one right here. James Harden is absolutely balling tonight. He is on his way to making headlines for his performance in this game. He's got 3 dimes, nice dime right there to Embiid. He's got 19 points. He's made 4 of 6 shots, 3 of 4 from downtown. Joel Embiid now is up to 6 rebounds and 10 points. Like I said, the double-double prop on Joel Embiid signed me up. It was a minus 210, and I really liked the value on that still, even at a 2-for-1. But he's up to, I believe, 12 points now. No, he's at 11 and 6. So Embiid is tracking now towards his points and his rebound number. This is fun. Basketball is back. We've got Major League Baseball going on. And we gave you Philadelphia for the series. We gave you San Diego tonight. So far, the pitchers are getting it done. We're very early. It's in the top of the 2nd inning. We got 2.5 to go here in Boston, and Philly with the rock up by 3. James Harden with an ankle-breaking move. Dude fell down, and then Harden hit the logo off the left side of the rim. He missed the freaking rim. He dropped the dude, with that drawback, step back 3, defender falling by the wayside and ooh and ah, and then he literally hit the logo with the 3-point shot. So as I was singing Harden's praises, then he comes up with a very unsightly play right there. Boston comes back with a bucket. We're now at a 1-point game, ladies and gentlemen. So let's start getting into some Week 6 breakdowns here in the National Football League. And let's start with last night's game, the Monday Night Football game. A win for the Chargers, 19-16.
Chargers, go.
Yes, indeed. And they won the game last night, 19-16. And it was an overtime game, obviously. So this was a bad beat for the Chargers. They were a 4-point favorite. I had the Chargers to cover and win this game. And this is why, you look at money lines, but I looked at the money line and it was like a 2-to-1. It was like minus 205, minus 210 or whatever. I'm like, wow. I don't feel that good about the Chargers in this game. So that 5 actually paid off, didn't pay off, but we saw it last night because, that was Denver's game. Denver, again, Russ with the injury in the second half, or maybe just another excuse. Maybe just another excuse. I don't know. I'm smelling an excuse. That's what I'm smelling.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
It's my buddy Stephen A. Smith right there. Indeed, Stephen A. Indeed. We've been bamboozled and all that kind of stuff by Russell Wilson. So that should have been Denver's game last night, and they blew it. They've been blowing it all year. The only reason LA won that game is because Denver doesn't know how to close games, right? It's not like, oh, the Chargers won. Here they come. No. They're 4-2. They've won 3 in a row. But in terms of last night and some significance and some sort of like ooh and awe factor for me, no. Nope. I am oohing and awing, though, out of Austin Eckler, okay? Austin Eckler has been absolutely amazing. He's rolling right now. In a monster game last night with all the catches, scored a touchdown. He has powered the last 3 wins for the Los Angeles Chargers on their way to this 4-2 mark right now. And when you think about Austin Eckler and all the goodies that he's putting up, like I asked Casey Joyner earlier, like what other back would you rather have in a 1 point, full point PPR league? Like he's catching 8, 9, 10 balls a week. He's getting, nickels and dimes on the ground. He's a touchdown machine. Was last year. You think about last year and the touchdowns that he put up. He had 12 on the ground. He had 8 in the air. That's 20. And right now he is at he's got 6 in his last 3 games, which now puts him at 6 on the year. So 1 per game. But in the last 3 games, he's been 2 touchdowns per game. That's how much he's rolling right now. And we are back on the clock here in the FSGA West League. All right, so let me take a look here. I need a forward, y'all. I need a forward pretty badly. Who is the best forward on the board as we scroll down?
Iguodala.
I am not going to take Andre Iguodala. I do appreciate the suggestion, though. Man, the pickings are slim. Do I take Michael Porter Jr. coming off the back surgery? I mean, he's probably the right pick right here. Based on opportunity, they're going to need him to score the hell out of the ball. Let's see. It's Michael Porter Jr., Kyle Kuzma, Jeremy Grant, Bobby Portis, OG Anunoby, Tobias Harris, Andrew Wiggins. Oh, God. I tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go with the upside guy. It's a money league. It's a bunch of sharks in here. I'm going to go with the upside guy. If it doesn't work out with MPJ, we'll have a different conversation. But I need a forward. He's got the most upside of the guys left. I'm going to take another forward on the way back here and complete my forward. It's 2 starting centers, 3 forwards, and 3 guards, and then 2 flexes. I do like that it's a 10-man starting lineup. So I don't like that it's a 10-man league. I don't like that it's a points league, but I do like that we start 10 guys. And so that will stretch and stress and challenge us as managers to not have holes and to always be filling spots and that kind of thing. It's probably going to be a weekly league and not a daily league. Again, I don't know that right now, and it's not going to impact my drafting, but let me set my roster on Monday for the entire week and then just not be able to do anything with my team the entire week. What a helpless feeling that is. I hate that. Boston, by the way, on an 8-0 run right here, and they're now right on the number. They were laying 3, and they lead by 3, 61-58. But I don't like that. It's like a best ball league in fantasy football. And I know a lot of you play best ball leagues. I don't play in any best ball leagues. None. I have before. They don't do a damn thing for me. Why don't I like best ball leagues? Because they're boring. You don't have to do any machinations, any strategy. You just pick your team. And a lot of times you can't trade, you can't pick up, you pick your team and you just sort your roster and puts the best dudes in the lineup. Like, what's the fun in that? Help me out. What am I missing there, folks? What am I missing there? Where's the fun in that? All right, we need another forward here. We're back on the clock. Where am I going here? Where am I going? Larry Markkinen, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Smith, Franz Wagner. Golly, we're deep. We're real deep here. I got OG Anunoby. I got a little Terry Rozier going on right here. Maybe I'd take a different position and maybe I'd take a different spot here and come back with a forward because I really don't like the forward. So maybe I maximize what I can get from a guard spot right here. I don't know. This is a tough one. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and bang Tyler Hero right here. I'm going to go ahead and take another guard. Bang! Yeah, Mike Breen. That was a good call right there. Shout out to Tyler Soto and Anthony Rivera behind the glass. All right, so I got Hero because I do need, like I said, we got 10 starters here, and it's okay to go back to a guard. I got 2 forwards now. I feel good there. And the 4, I just feel like I'm reaching right now, and I feel like I'm getting value at the forward spot right now. So I'll sleep on that forward spot just a little while longer. It's kind of like those debates in baseball, right? Like, how long do you wait on that catcher? How long do you wait before, you get that second baseman, that kind of thing. I love the mind games of these sports, man. I absolutely do. Let's check out some of your comments right here. Dave Poland says the fantasy executive is preaching, talking about Corey Parson. Indeed, he was. Essie says, hey, guys, need to pick up a quarterback, Tua or Carr. Which matchup is better? I am not that far along, honestly. Tell you what, SE, put in the teams they're playing this week. Like I said, I'm still coming off week 6 mode. We got basketball tonight. I'm not in week 7 mode yet. I will be tomorrow. And Dave Pullen says, Austin Carr, get that weak stuff out of here. The analyst for the Cavaliers on TV. Here's my Austin Carr imitation back from the LeBron James days with the Cavaliers on League Pass. And LeBron throws the hammer down at the Q. You remember that? Dave Pullen's going to start cracking up in our comment area right now. He knows that was spot on. It wasn't as good as my Shaq imitation, but here's the thing. I could do a better Austin Carr imitation, but I got like an hour and 15 minutes of show. And if I really give you the Austin Carr growl, I'm not going to have enough voice left to make it to the end of the show. So I can't give you the full throat Austin Carr where he gets all gravelly with it and in the queue, throwing the hammer down and all that kind of stuff. But Austin Carr is a great, great man too. What a nice guy and a terrific announcer and obviously a badass player a long, long time ago. All right, so let's get back to it here. Austin Eckler killing it. I can't think of a back I would rather have in a full-point PPR league than him right now. And if you made it through the 3 weeks, right, of like bagels in the TD column, you've made it. We're in a much better place here with Austin Eckler. He is the main player for me on a very important league to me. I'm 5-1 in this league, and I've got a lot of these stories about 3-3 and 3-3 and 3-3. And I think a lot of us do. The more people I talk to, the more people are like, yep, I'm basically 500 in all my leagues. I do have a league that's 5-1, and I'm rather excited about it. And Eckler is a money man in this league. I have Tyreek Hill on this team, Stephon Diggs on this team, Travis Kelce on this team. I am weird at quarterback. I've got Stafford and kind of like in a weird zone at quarterback. I definitely need to do better there, but the infrastructure is there. If I feel good about running back, tight end, and wide receiver, and I'll mix and match a quarterback a little bit. Yeah, I can get with that. I definitely can. I can't be weak in those other spots. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of lucked out. I picked up Darrell Henderson after week 1. Remember the opener, Bills, he was the guy. Cam Akers not playing. Then they messed around with Cam Akers for a minute. And so, but I went big in FOB money on Darrell Henderson. So I hung in there with him. And now the whole fallout with Cam Akers there, and boom, Darrell Henderson's back being the guy. Boom, in the end zone against Carolina. And so the weakness on that team was my second running back spot. I've been kind of going with Khalil Herbert, Travis Etienne, and I went with Chase Edmonds, I think, at the beginning of the year. I want to make a point here about Chase Edmonds. Can we, and I don't mean like to be like overly harsh here, like as a human being, he might be a hell of a guy. And so I wanted to say that before I sarcastically say what I'm going to say. But in fantasy football, can we just flush this guy? And can I never hear another hype train about Chase Edmonds again? I'm not going to mention names, but there was somebody, we had a guest on and came on my show early on in the year, and he was singing a song about Chase Edmonds and, new environment. Okay. Like maybe, but I'm done. I'm over it. I will not hear any other Chase Edmonds hype again. I will not hear it. If Raheem Mostert, unfortunately, gets hurt, okay, and then Edmonds is okay, that's different. But like coming into a season and thinking that Chase Edmonds is going to do anything of significance, I'm done. I'm out. He had an opportunity in Arizona, peed it down his leg. James Conner took over, then got paid. He had an opportunity here in Miami, peed it down his leg. Raheem Mostert's now the guy, and maybe he'll get paid or whatever. But we're getting a recurring situation here with Chase Edmonds and a recurring read, and it's not a good read, folks. It's not. Justin Herbert, as we continue sort of analyzing and breaking down week 6 and last night's Monday Night Football debacle, another very unentertaining game. Justin Herbert has been rather lame now for 2 games in a row. He's averaging in those games 233 yards, and he's got a 1-to-1 ratio with TDs to INTs. We are tied, by the way, 63-63 at halftime in a great game with the Celtics and 76ers. These games came against Cleveland. We talked about this last night. That Cleveland game, Eckler ran for 170. Kelly went for 50. They ran the ball. Herbert didn't have to throw. Last night was not that game. Okay. They didn't run the ball all over the place. They didn't run the ball barely at all. And Herbert still couldn't muster a big time yardage total. And we had the over on his prop last night and he let us down. But the thing is, the law of diminishing returns without Keenan Allen is really catching up here for Justin Herbert. And the word is that Keenan Allen may come back this upcoming week. And this offense needs him in the worst way and being able to go 4-2, win the last 3 games, basically without him, that would put the Chargers in a really good position to move up the charts as we move forward here and make the playoffs.
Chargers, go.
Indeed. Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger, by the way? That sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right, let me click over to the baseball game here real quick. They're at halftime. I like watching Charles and Kenny and Shaq and all those guys, but when I can hear them, not just watch them. All right, we're in the top of the 3rd inning right here, and not surprisingly, Bagel, Darvish doing his thing, Wheeler doing his thing, and I'll keep my TV on this game for just a little bit here. Let me go back to this draft. It's coming up on your boy. It's 2 picks away, and then me. I do need a forward. Andrew Wiggins is out there. I'm probably going to go ahead and snag him up if he makes it through a couple of more picks for me. Ooh, Kevin Porter Jr. is out there. I kind of like that pick too. I am worried about the tank with Houston. But maybe they don't tank, but maybe they do. It's a weird zone. Like that we have to consider, like, is a team actually going to finish the season earnestly, or are they going to tank and completely bottom out, right? It sucks that we have to make these evaluations as, whoa, Anthony Simons is still out here? Man, these dudes are sleeping on Anthony Simons. He's like way buried down here. But your boy, I gotta get some forward center action here. There's a bunch of guards left. So I am up in a couple of picks right here. Josh Palmer, by the way, pick him up. It's not going to be consistent. Actually, with the Keenan Allen news, I tell you what, he caught 9 for 57. With Keenan Allen coming back, go ahead and leave him on waivers. Josh Palmer, nice game last night. I'm off with Keenan Allen coming back. He's not going to, 9 catches. That ain't going to happen with Keenan Allen back in there. So let's get to the benching of Melvin Gordon last night by your boy Nathaniel Hack. Jalen Green, Jay Green just went. Was that Jalen Green? All right, you just heard it right there. I am on the clock. Kevin Porter Jr. just went, by the way. So, I might have jinxed it by even saying his name. Let's see here. Draymond Green is out there. I can't take Draymond right now. Get the triple single and all that kind of stuff. I'm not feeling that. All right, so where are we going here? On the clock here in the FSGA West League. I tell you what, let's go Andrew Wiggins. He's going to score 17, 18 points. It's a points league. He's very light on the rebounds and the assists, but this is a league where his stat line becomes a lot more palatable. We're deep in the draft. I need another forward. He will be the 9th of my 10th starters. So we're in the 9th round right here. I'm going to go ahead and snag a little Andrew Wiggins. Another thing I like about Wiggins, he's very, very available. This is not a game misser. He's an availability guy. He's a guy that's going to try to play all 82, and I admire him for that. I do. All right, so when we come back here, I'm a couple of picks away from me. I can go back to a guard spot if I want. There's a lot of intriguing names out here, but they're not big point scorers. Al Horford, Steven Adams, Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Smith of Indiana. They're just not going to put the ball in the proverbial hole. My guy Cole Anthony is out there. Spencer Dinwiddie is out there. Spencer Dinwiddie might be the pick right here, folks. Him or Anthony Simons. Who just went here? Jabari Smith just went, and Jaren Jackson Jr. just went. Good luck with that pick. He's out till like January or December. Not a great pick right there, in my humble opinion. I don't know who took him. And if you want to be mad at me, go right ahead. It's just an opinion. And I don't mean anything personally by it. All right, we got to take the guy that can get us the most points right here. Do I go Anthony Simons? Do I go Spencer Dinwiddie? Oh, it's a tough call. Oh, my God, it's a tough call. I'm going to go with this is tough. I'm going to go with the bang. I'm going with the young fella, Anthony Simons of the Portland Trailblazers. I got Damian Lillard as well. Thank you, Mike Breen. I got Damian Lillard as well, so it's a little bit of insurance, a little bit of a handcuff. Like if Lillard goes down, then Anthony Simons is going to go off. God forbid Lillard goes down. But it does give me a little insulation right there. I think they're both going to get their numbers in the lineup together. That's the plan. Remember, CJ McCollum always got really, really good numbers playing next to Damian Lillard. So I think I feel good about Anthony Simons being able to do the same. Oh, man, I like this team. Sexy. Nikola Vucevic, Jonas Valanciunas are my centers. Paolo Banchero, Michael Porter Jr., Andrew Wiggins are my forwards. I like that after all this, right? I kind of punted the position a little bit. I still got Paulo. I still got MPJ. I still got Wig. My guards are insane. Trae Young, Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, Tyler Hero, Anthony Simons. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Hey, FSGA West, I'm coming for your money, yo. It's a money league. I Venmo'd my money across the country or wherever the hell I'd sent it earlier today. And I don't play these leagues just to have fun. Ha ha, a few laughs. There's money involved here. There's money. My little baby needs shoes, man, okay? My little baby needs some shoes with a little bow on it and all the little straps and accessories and all the stuff on the little girl shoes that are so cute. And everybody goes, aw, baby needs some new shoes, man. Come on, baby. Come on. FSGA West, I'm coming for your money right now. And now we're in sleeper mode. All right, I got my starting lineup. All right, I'm good. Now you just go into sleeper mode here. And you get a little creative and you take some chances and you roll the dice, and it's going to be fun to dive into what's left in terms of Sleeperville here, and just look, Kyle Lowry's still out there, maybe taking him. So that will be coming up here in just a little while. Yu Darvish, Kyle Schwarber, base hit right field.
Go
in the top of the third. Play that one more time. Hit that one more time, or maybe don't.
San Diego.
Yeah, Ron Burgundy right there. I didn't know you bleeped out the word. I know we're kind of a little looser than a lot of other platforms here with cussing. I try to maintain. I try not to cuss. Occasionally, one will like slip out, kind of funny style. But that was Ron Burgundy right there, one of the funniest movies of all time. I'm kind of a big deal. He said once upon a time in that movie, the hilarious arrogance of that character is just, it's amazing, man. One of my favorite movies of all time. Like the fight scenes in the alley where they like chop off arms and stuff. Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. By the way, I do want to author up, since I'm on the random stream of consciousness topic of Will Ferrell, I do want to just make the quick point here, because it's an unpopular opinion, and I love dispensing them because it rankles a lot of people. The greatest basketball movie ever made is Semi-Pro with Will Ferrell. And I know right now you're mad at me. Oh my God, how can you say this? It's The Fish That Stole Pittsburgh, or The Fish That Ate Pittsburgh, whatever the hell that is, or Hoop Dreams, or Hoosiers, or all this kind of stuff. No. All those great movies pale to Semi-Pro with Jackie Moon. Okay? Jackie Moon, not Space Jam, Anthony Rivera. Or Space Jam 2. Fine movies. They're okay. They pale in comparison to Semi-Pro. Okay, you have Jackie Moon. He's fighting bears. He is faking a giveaway because he doesn't have the money to actually give away if you make the half-court shot. And so he gives the guy the paper check, like the big check. And the guy actually goes to the bank and tries to cash the big paper check. Like, it's slapstick. It's funny, okay? And so, this is funny stuff. And he's the owner. He's the GM. He's the coach. He's the top player, all on the same team called the Flint Tropics. Yes, they call a team in Flint, Michigan, the Tropics. It's so dope. That movie's amazing. They trade Monix for a washing machine. They pick him up from the Celtics, who won the championship the year before. Woody Harrelson's character. Stop it, man. Stop it. The laughs keep coming with this thing. Everybody love everybody. Remember that on the bus? ELE. I mean, I got rhymes for days on that movie, man. Remember the sideline when he's all pissed off and the guy's got the nachos and he kicks the nachos all into the air and they spray all over the place? How freaking funny is that, man? Slapstick, upside your head, okay? Back in the day, young fellas and young ladies, we used to like a thing called jokes. We used to like a thing called sarcasm. We used to like a movie that actually had some of that in it. All right, let's talk Broncos here. The benching of Melvin Gordon was disrespectful, but justifiable. Melvin Gordon, 3 carries, like 7 or 8 yards last night. Okay, quick hook. Come on over here next to me. Melvin Gordon, despite like the body of work, which is like really good, he has averaged less than 3 yards per carry in 3 of the last 4 games. He has not been running well, and he's been fumbling the ball. We can't forget that. And so I'm not a Nathaniel Hack guy. You know how I feel about him. He should already be unemployed and collecting all the money on the way out of Denver. They should have already fired this guy, but they're showing him grace. I actually thought after last night that we might get an early Black Monday and Nathaniel Hack would be fired. They're hanging in there with him. They made the stupid ass decision to hire him, and they're hanging in there with him. But let's be careful about something here, folks. Don't try to make Melvin Gordon out to be the scapegoat for your suctitude, okay? That I don't want. I understand you're coaching your team right now. You're benching him. He hasn't been playing well, but let's not make him a scapegoat. You, Nathaniel Hack, you, the man who will not get his full last name from me probably ever, you are the problem with this team. Russell Wilson is the problem with this team. And to a much lesser degree, Melvin Gordon is a problem with this team. There's no doubt about that. Fumbling the ball, not running well, and looking old. Oh, wow. Speaking of that, let's welcome Russell Wilson to the conversation. Folks, the news keeps getting worse on Russell Wilson. He had the second half from hell. And let me run through a great follow on Twitter is StatMuse. You guys got to follow StatMuse. If you're not following StatMuse, you got to do it. It's an amazing follow on Twitter. So, gosh, I've got a lot of likes here. I'm trying to scroll down. Where is it? Here it is. StatMuse. Russ in the second half and OT last night. 3 of 11 passing. 15 yards and no touchdowns. He had 15 yards passing in the second half and overtime. Are you freaking kidding me? I don't care what is wrong with your body, man. I don't care if your left hand is dangling. I don't care. I don't care if you've got the stomach flu. I don't care if you've got a nasty head cold. I don't care. That can't happen. Did he finish the game? Did he finish the game? He finished the game. I don't want to hear it. These are all excuses. Oh, I got a hamstring now. What was his excuse after the Indianapolis game? Ouch, 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 my shoulder. That shoulder looked pretty damn good in the first half last night, didn't it? Throwing that roll out to the right, about 20-yard downfield ball to Judy, which he turned into a chunk play. Looked good on that one.
That's right.
Please play that again. Please play that again. Hit that one more time for me.
Let's ride.
It's so freaking cheesy, man. Tyler Soto, Anthony Rivera, you the man. You the collective man behind the glass. Ian Rappaport reports, Russell Wilson, hamstring is considered day to day. Earlier in the day, Tom Pelissero of NFL Network reports that Russell Wilson is getting an MRI on what could be, quote, a fairly significant injury. You all are selling. You're selling what you're buying, what they're telling you. This is propaganda. This is propaganda, man. None of this is true. Does Russ have a little bit of a flare-up with the hamstring? Maybe. You ain't getting me with that. You're not catching me with the banana in the tailpipe with that. You got me effed all the way up if you think I'm buying that. DJ Uiagalelei last year for Clemson sucked. And it wasn't because of injuries, which everybody, well, he was hurt. He had a finger injury, and a foot injury, and an ankle injury. No. He was out of shape, couldn't move, couldn't make the throws. Have you seen DJ Uiagalelei of Clemson, their quarterback, this year? The weight is down. He's svelte. He's fit. He's well-conditioned. And he's balling. He's balling. Clemson might win a national championship this year with DJ Uiagalelei. And based on what I saw from him last year, I cannot believe those words are coming out of my mouth. Can't believe it. I didn't think it was possible. I've got him now on a bunch of my fantasy teams in college football fantasy, and he's killing it. And I absolutely love it. Russell Wilson could be DJ Uiagalelei. Russ. Hey, yo, Russ. Check and see where we're at here. A couple picks away. And now I'm 1 pick away. Yo, Russ. Put the fork down, bro. Stop eating Jimmy John's and McDonald's and Taco Bell and Domino's. It's all amazing. I eat the crap out of that stuff. And I got dad bod. And I sit here and I talk sports with you guys on Bettor Sports Network. And I host a show on NBA radio at Sirius XM. I don't need to be in phenomenal shape, bro. You do. No more excuses. Bronco country, let's ride. How about we ride to the gym in the off season as opposed to chilling by the pool and not working out and doing commercials and living the good life? Give me a break, dude. The dude is washed. I know it when I see it. I also know when I'm on the clock. My God, it's so annoying. It literally is so annoying. And now we just get an opportunity to tune into Disaster Piece Theater every week with Russell Wilson. And then after he implodes, face plants, resorts to suckiness, ouch, ouch, my knee. Ouch, ouch, my shoulder. Ouch, ouch, my hamstring. I'm not listening, bro. I'm not. You're not getting me with that. You can sell it to the Denver Broncos masses. Maybe they're buying it. God help them if they are. This is a joke, man. This is a joke. All right, I'm on the clock here, kind of scrolling through a little bit.
That's right.
You guys are cracking me up with that. Marcus Smart's still available. It's a little deep in the draft for him. Kyle Lowry's still there, really? Wait, he's about a 13-point per game guy. I'm looking for points. Okay, all right. I told you it's Sleeperville here. I'm going to go with Cole Anthony of the Orlando Magic. Bang! Hit me with Mike Breen one more time. Hit me with Breeny one more time here for that pick. Bang! Bang! That sounds like the Ray Allen shot. Tyler Soto and Anthony Rivera. Is that Mike Breen calling the Ray Allen shot against the Spurs back in the 2012 NBA Finals? I believe that's what that is. Because Mike Breen really lost his ish with that one. Bang! Bang! Like he really hit the high note with that. Breen's my guy, by the way. Awesome, awesome dude. Oh, that was Curry shot against the Thunder. Okay, thank you. Bang! Bang! I freaking love it, man. I love it. I was watching that game in Minneapolis with my two boys. I was on vacation up there with them. It's where they live. I don't live there anymore. And we were at a sports bar watching that game. That was an insane game, man. Curry from half court to beat that was when I believe Durant was still there. I know Russ was still there. That was a hell of a game, man. All right, we got to make a pick here. We got to make a pick. We got to make a pick. We got to make a pick. What are we doing here? Who is the best? Spencer Dinwiddie's still out there, man. These homies are sleeping on Spencer Dinwiddie. Gosh, I'm looking for a little forward coverage here too. You guys are killing me, taking all these forwards away from me. I'm going to wait. I'm going to punt forward just a little bit longer here. I got some guys out here that are kind of intriguing in that regard. Aaron Gordon in a points league, does Cam Johnson in a points league, does a little something for me. But I'm going to take Dinwiddie right now. Let's get a little bit more coverage at, I'm just kind of going BPA right here. And I think Dinwiddie's going to have a pretty darn good year. As my boy Larry David would say, pretty good. And so there it is. Another pick by your boy. That was a good round right there. I mean, I was looking at Cole Anthony and Spencer Dinwiddie much earlier in the draft, still made it to me. I'm kind of married to going big and going forward and center here in the next couple of rounds. So we got that coming up around the corner here. We're just riffing with y'all here. But Russell Wilson is washed. I said it, 2 weeks ago? Whatever it was. Like, when I know you're washed, I know you're washed. I had the epiphany with Big Ben. I had the epiphany with Phillip Rivers. I had the epiphany with who else retired recently? Big Ben, Drew Brees. I had the epiphany with all these guys. Drew Brees played like 2 years after he was washed. Big Ben played like 2 years after he was washed. Phillip Rivers actually played like 2 years after he was washed. And then the whole world knew, yo, bro, you're washed. There are some people that don't think that Russell Wilson is washed right now. We had the great Casey Joyner on earlier from The Athletic and Fantasy Football Diehards, and he's literally amazing. His intel and his info is next level, man. It's next level. It's like next gen stats meets fantasy. The guy's amazing, but he is looking at Russell Wilson as, man, he's hurt. I'm seeing a guy who's hurt. And so in that way, me and him aren't on the same page here at all. I see a guy that doesn't have the zest for working his freaking ass off to play NFL football. That's what I see. I see a guy stealing money. That's what I see. To that end, I have a point to make here about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, folks, is under contract with the Denver Broncos until 2028. I'm going to say that again. Russell Wilson is under contract with the Broncos through 2028. And you thought the Laker picks that they might trade with Russell Westbrook to get studs on the Laker team. And you thought that those picks were far out. 2028 is how far this Russell Wilson god-awful contract goes. Is there any doubt that it's the worst contract in the NFL right now? There's not to me. And if you want to go ahead and drop, if you're in a 2-quarterback league, you can't drop Russell Wilson. If you're in a 1-quarterback league, and I don't give a damn how many teams are in your league, if you're in a 1-quarterback league, you can cut this dude, man. He is accumulating injuries. There is that. But I'm not going to use those as an excuse or give him an out. So I want to make another point here, looking back on Monday Night Football last night, about Patrick Surtain. Patrick Surtain is the Deion Sanders of today's game. Jalen Ramsey is maybe in name value, but Jalen Ramsey gets torched a lot, and he makes big plays a lot, but it's a mixed bag. He's not feckless. Patrick Surtain is shut down. Shut you down, bro. Mike Williams, off the top of my head coming in, the previous 2 games, it was 27 targets, 17 grabs in the previous 2 games. He had 2 catches. He had 2 catches last night. And we have a bomb here by Bryce Harper in the Phillies and Padres game. And it is 1-0
San Diego.
Phillies. Yes, indeed. That's exactly. Bryce Harper is steaming right now. Steaming. He's not rolling. He's not hot. He's steaming. He's so hot, there's steam coming off of him right now. Like if you were ice cold and you went into a sauna, right? He's steaming right now. It's crazy. Home runs every game. I'm on San Diego tonight. I'm on Philly for the series, though. All right. So you can parse those. And I mean, it is what it is. I thought the home field advantage would be huge for San Diego tonight. We'll see. Wheeler's obviously dealing right now. Darvish was dealing until that jack job by Bryce Harper. But we're in the top of the 4th, 1-0 Phillies. And Darvish is at, how many pitches is he at here with 1 out in the 4th? Oh my God, did I see he's at 62 pitches? That's not good news for the San Diego Padres. I gotta verify that. They're in the dugout now interviewing Bryce Harper. By the way, how dope is Major League Baseball's coverage getting players right after a big hit, home run, in the dugout, right after it. He high-fives all the guys, and then, bam, Ken Rosenthal's in there interviewing Bryce Harper about the pitch that he saw, how it felt, what it meant for his team, blah, blah, blah. That is so freaking cool. It really is. I love it. He's at 62 pitches through 4 innings. That, my friends, is not efficient pitching. He's at over 63 pitches here through 4 innings. That's, basically 15, maybe 16 per inning. Nope, that ain't going to get it done. You got to be around 10, 11, 12, 13. I mean, it's not frighteningly high, but he's a little bit high. He's a little bit high with the pitch count right now through 4 innings. Because you know how they are. Oh, the RPMs are revving so high here. We got to get you out of the lineup here. For the love of God, your arm is going to fall off if we pitch you anymore. Oh, God, you know all that stuff. Back to Terry Francona. But I'm serious, man. I'm serious, okay? Because I've been looking at Surtain, and I was on Mike Williams. I didn't give you yards or a touchdown prop because I knew it was a tough matchup, but I thought he could get to 5.5 catches. Not even close. Stop it. Stop the madness. It's time to start going under when your guy's matching up with Patrick Surtain in the prop bet world, and maybe even fading a guy, a brand name guy in a redraft fantasy, dynasty fantasy game when you've got a guy going up against Patrick Surtain. It's like that. He's a shadow corner. He is traveling with receivers. It's not like you can bring him to the other side or put him in the slot and you'll shake him. He's like, I'm still here. Let's go. I'm still here. Try to beat me. Oh, that's right. You can't, because I'm Patrick Surtain, and I'm a freaking alien put here on planet Earth to stop passing games in the National Football League. The guy's a joke. I will not be attacking in a prop bet a wide receiver and probably not a quarterback against the Denver defense all year. It's off. It's eliminated. This is not the first L I've taken with a wide receiver and being positive on him against the Broncos. So you got to learn. You got to watch. You got to learn, and you got to adjust. And so I'm out. I am out. Now, the Broncos host the Jets this week, people, in Denver, okay, where the Jets passing game will go to die. It's almost Halloween time, right? Ooh, it's so spooky. Ooh, it's so scary. Darvish here with a strikeout on Bohm. And maybe it's even up on 63 pitches because he had to throw a few more right there. Let me check the box here real quick. We are through 3.5. Phillies up 1-0 with a cranker by Bryce Harper. Yu Darvish is at 66 pitches through 4 innings. Again, too high, man. Like they said in Major League back in the day, too high when they were gauging whether it's going to be a home run or not. I have weird random references for days, man. It's who I am. It's what I'm about. Jalen says here, Brady washed, in your opinion, Cam. I tell you what, Better Boss says Nathaniel can't hack it. I like that. I like that a lot. That's creative. Jalen, I tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to make one more point here about the Jets, and then I'm going to come back and answer your question, Jalen. Love having you out there. Better Boss. We got Dave Poland. We got SI. We got all kinds of people in here having fun with your boy Cam. The point that I wanted to make is you got to stay away from the Jets passing game this week. And this might actually be a game that the Broncos win because the Jets are riding high. They're 4-2, pats on the back. Their defense is kicking ass, I will say that. It's going to be a low-scoring game, but I don't see the Jets passing game getting a lot done in this one. Okay, this is where the Jets passing game goes to die. Not that they were great, right? What did Wilson have? 110 yards in the win at Green Bay. Breece Hall to the rescue, leading them to victory. Breece Hall's the homie, man. Love him to death. I'm not surprised, by the way, at anything we're seeing from Breece Hall. I knew he had this in him. I had a first-round grade on him, and a lot of people are like, first-round grade on Breece Hall, you're crazy. I'm like, no, you're crazy. What you're doing is not watching college football. Yeah, exactly. But Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios, Tyler Conklin, bench them. Cut them, bench them, cut them, bench them, cut them, bench them. Do not play them against Denver. And Surtain's not the only good cornerback and DB that they have. They're good in the secondary, very good in the secondary. But just know about that. Word to the wise. All right. So Jalen wants to know: is Tom Brady cooked? Is he washed? I will come back with that. We'll continue with breaking down Week 6 in the National Football League. And your boy is, I believe, back on the clock here. So I'll make a pick here during this break. I'll tell you who I took on the other side. It's Rick Kamla right here on Better Sports Live.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
I got to tell this story, okay? So we're out in Canton, Ohio, and we decide to go eat late at night, like after midnight. We decide to go to the Waffle House. Somehow, Fensty's never been there, even though he lives near it. I'm in New York, New Jersey. There's no Waffle House close by. So if you go to the Waffle House, what are you going to eat more than likely? Pancakes, waffles, eggs, and all that, right? So, of course, our guy Rich, he gets breakfast. I get breakfast. Fensty doesn't. He's never been to a Waffle House. How do you not have waffles? Like, it makes no sense.
Dude, there's a time for waffles.
I eat breakfast at midnight. Come on, man.
That's the thing. I didn't want breakfast, man. I got like, what was it, like a cheesesteak sandwich or something like that?
That's like someone who has never been to IHOP going there and ordering a burger. Who does that?
That I wouldn't do. That I would not.
That's the equivalent of what you did. Well, I don't even know what you had.
I got the steak sandwich, which was
steak sandwich at the Waffle House. Never been there, and that's what you get. You're an odd guy, man. You are an odd guy. Yes, you are. Can we get a vote? Can we get a vote in the chat, please? I mean, if you've never been to Waffle House and you get a steak wrap, something's wrong with you, right? Don't you have to get waffles and eggs and bacon and all that? It's the Waffle House.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It was my first time, okay? Ordering the hash browns was already complicated enough. Smothered and covered, and it's almost like it's crazy how much combinations you can have. And I know that everybody's killing me for it right now. And no, to our producers, I don't get pasta at a steakhouse or anything like that. No,
Alfredo, that's what he gets at the steakhouse.
Do you follow me on Instagram? I'm always on that grill. You know how much I love steak. Why would I go to a steakhouse to get pasta?
Because you go to Waffle House to get steak wraps. That's why.
I didn't know it was all waffles, bro. I thought it had like a little bit of everything. That's why. You know, I didn't realize they were famous for the waffles. Hey, look. You know,
the name of the place is the Waffle House. What else would they be famous for?
You know what? That's fine. I guess it's a hot take getting a steak sandwich. As long as it was good, I housed that thing in 10 seconds.
Okay, you were never there, and that's the first time. You're not going to try a waffle? Do you admit it was a mistake?
I don't really like waffles, man.
Better Sports Network. It's sports talk done better.
Maiden? You kidding me? You guys are hitting me with Iron friggin' Maiden right now. I love it. Tyler Soto and Anthony Rivera killing it behind the glass. I'm going to go ahead and hustle up here and take Cam Johnson of the Phoenix Suns. That was a prosperous little betting cycle for picking cycle for me right there. Super deep in the draft. 13th round, I was able to get Aaron Gordon. I'm not crazy about him, but forward is a position I needed badly. And he'll score around 15 points, around 7 rebounds, around 3 assists. Like, he's going to be a nice little sneaky source of points in this points league that I'm in. And I took Cam Johnson, who is Cam Johnson basically has played Jay Crowder out of Phoenix. Now Jay Crowder's in limbo because they want to give Cam Johnson that starting forward job to him. So there's going to be a promising spike in production from Cam Johnson this year. He's hurt right now. And I don't think he's going to play tomorrow night, but I'm not worried about it. I drafted him as a bench guy. We have 10 starters and then a 6-man bench, 16 players total on your team. And he was the 14th player that I took out of 16. I look, everybody in this league is going to say, I love my team. It's a 10-team league. 10-team leagues are lame because everybody has a really good team. But your boy's pretty stacked here, man. I now have some forward depth I feel good about. I definitely got to bang a center here when I come back, and we'll see. Well, I may take 2 centers. I'll probably go center and BPA when we come back near the end of this draft. But rolling here in the FSGA West draft, Jalen asked me, is Tom Brady cooked? Is he washed? All that kind of stuff. Yes. The answer is yes. And Jalen, as I hustle to my notes here on Steelers and Buccaneers, and I'll get to this in a minute. We'll continue on with a lot of the other games. Tom Brady has he's not physically able to consistently play quarterback at a high level. He's not. If you get any pressure on him at all, he craters and he caves and he goes fetal and he just accepts the sack. He can't move anymore. I'm not looking for him to sprint to the sideline and get a 3rd and 3 first down, sticking the ball out and getting mauled by a linebacker coming over. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking for a crow hop in the pocket. I'm asking for a little shimmy to the left, a little shimmy to the right. All the stuff that he's been able to do throughout his career, having pocket presence, understanding that they're coming off your blind side and they are going to backiotomy you. He doesn't have that wiring anymore. He's taking hits. He doesn't want to take hits, so he's going down easier than he should. He's not helping the offensive line. He's killing the offensive line by getting in their face and screaming at them. And blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. I can't do that again. I just suffered that created a little frog in my throat. I shouldn't do that anymore. Anyway, Tom Brady yelling at his teammates and all that kind of stuff. If I were one of his offensive linemen and they just sat there and took it, right, it was Tom Brady. I don't want to talk back to Tom Brady. If I were one of those offensive linemen, I would have been like, yo, you could help us out a little bit, bro. What do you mean? You can move your freaking feet, old man. Okay, we're a little leaky. We're shorthanded. We got a bunch of injuries. You can move your damn feet. You don't have to take a sack every damn time. You could throw the ball away every once in a while. But no, stand in the pocket, ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. Tom Brady's cooked, and I love him. He's the GOAT. It's not about that, but he's cooked. Jalen, to your question, cooked. He's playing like he's got 1 foot out the door, man. He did not get his body in good enough shape for the rigors of an NFL season. He got his body in good enough shape to go out there and play and be out there. He did not get his body in good enough shape to move. And maybe he did, and he's 45. And here we are at the end of the road. And Father Time now has officially caught up to you, bro. You've been dodging him, you've been weaving him, you've been juking him, and now he got you. He got you by the hair, by the cute little hair that he spikes up. He got you right there. Full hand of that hair. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's not about work ethic and all this kind of stuff. But he retired and then unretired and then left in training camp for 11 days and then came back. Man, this dude has 1 foot out the door, man. He's working over at Sirius. He's got the Fox gig coming up after the season. Joel Embiid is flexing and feeling his right knee. I don't like to see that. I don't like to see that at all. Boston has built, by the way, an 82-76 lead here. Noah Vonleh coming over and banging knees with Joel Embiid. Funny that Noah Vonleh would be late on a defensive rotation and create a bang knee situation with Joel Embiid. So anyway, yes, Tom Brady is cooked. Is he going to throw touchdowns for the rest of the year? Yeah. Is he going to hit an over a time or two with his prop bet? Yeah. You know, he's not as cooked as Russell Wilson. I'll say that. And I think Evans can still look in the right matchup. Here's the problem with Brady. Who didn't love that matchup? We all loved that matchup. We loved it. I did not go over on Brady's prop because it was too high. It was like 288 or something like that. I was like, no, that's too high. But I did go over on Evans. I did go over on Godwin. Got Godwin, did not get Evans because Pittsburgh's pass defense is awful. So why was Tampa Bay unable to move the ball against them? Their offensive line sucks, and they have a quarterback that just takes sacks now. Okay? That's why. Now, in this game, Pittsburgh, of course, wins. And the Bucs, oh my God, were they overrated coming into this game? Oh my God. 9.5, 9, 10, depending on the book. That was the line. If you watched that game, you knew very early on, oh boy, that's a loss. You just felt it. It was a lifeless carcass of a Buccaneers team up in Pittsburgh. That's what happened. So it was not good. How overrated? Vegas has got to adjust the lines. They can't keep looking at Tampa Bay the way they have. Like, 13-4, 13-3, championship contender, championship, all this kind of stuff. This is an average team, folks. Boston has built a 9-point lead here. Doc Rivers going to call a timeout. They are hemorrhaging right now. Just over 4 minutes to go in this game. And this is big bug. D'Anthony Melton freelancing, missing. What was that? Gotta be kidding me, man. That was brutal. Like Embiid was right there setting a pick for him. How about you dribble away a little bit and pick and pop? And then Jason Tatum hits him with another 3. 12-point lead now. Yo, Doc, are you going to call a timeout? He's not. Dude, you're booting this game right now. Oh, my God, I hate bad coaching. It drives me freaking crazy. And I'm a Doc Rivers guy. He's one of 6 guys in the history of the NBA with 1,000 wins and a ring. I'm a Doc Rivers guy. But, dude, this coaching's brutal right now. Call a timeout. I know it's the second half. I know you want to save it for the end of the game. But Boston is runaway and hiding from you right now. Stop the hemorrhaging. Crowd going crazy. Tatum blowing kisses to the crowd. This is not how you do it. Harden's at the line, a chance to restore order here a little bit. I'm shocked that Doc is not taking a timeout, man. I'm very bittersweet on Chase Claypool's game. 7 for 97 and a touchdown. It's a reminder that he's a stud, by the way. He had an amazing sideline catch late in the game. But his upside's capped and Pitt because you got Pickens, you got Deontay Johnson, you got Freiermuth when he's healthy. But it's a reminder how damn good he is. Hang on to him in a dynasty league, man. Maybe there's a new team for him down the line where they can really exploit his talents as opposed to Pittsburgh where they don't. Both quarterbacks played well, Pickett and Trubisky. Looks like Trubisky's going to be the guy this upcoming week. Pickett's going to have to clear the concussion protocol. And in the wake of the Tua thing, you know how that goes. Basically, you're going to add an extra week or at least a few days to anybody that gets a concussion right now because nobody wants, of course, the witch hunt of the PR police. Hey, you let this guy play, right? Nobody wants to deal with that anymore. I mean, Mike McDaniel is still like de-traumatizing from what happened with that whole Tua thing. Philly is just really, really unimpressive right now. They're not running good offense. They're getting terrible shots. Good defense right here on Melton forcing a turnover on Jaylen Brown. 10-point advantage here, Boston over Philadelphia. But look, man, the Bucs are in a lot of trouble. They do not look like a playoff team right now. And the seeds were sown in the preseason when we knew about all these offensive line injuries. We should not be surprised that this is going down like this. We should not be that surprised. Am I back on the clock here? Is that? Oh, I'm late on a pick here. Oh, the clock just ran out. And I ended up with Miles Bridges. Great. It's the end of the draft. Who cares? I'm busy here. I'm riffing. I'm working. You're bugging me. I'm just kidding with all that. But I get one more pick left here, and I better I'll obviously be dropping M. Bridges. And I presume that's not Mikhail Bridges, but that's Miles Bridges, who's in significant legal trouble right now. All right, who do I want to go with? I need a. Do I have a third center?
I want Iguodala.
I like that drop. I do. I like that drop. All right, I got to get a center here. Let me do a little bit of digging here for a center. Where is that? It's Real Time Sports. Here is the app and the platform that we're using. I'm not totally used to this. Steven Adams is still out there. Okay, that's probably my target here. He's definitely my target here. I don't really like what else is going on out here at the center position. Boy, it is barren at the center position right now. Please let Steven Adams fall to me with this next pick. That would be just absolutely fantastic as we round out our draft here on Bettor Sports Live. It is Rick Kamla. It's the FSGA West League. Yes, this is my last fantasy basketball league. And yes, I will be dropping Miles Bridges and looking to pick somebody up here when this draft is over. Hopefully we get to do first come, first serve. Probably going to be fob and all this kind of stuff. Man, and I'm back on the clock. Yes, I can take Steven Adams. Karis LeVert was just the pick. Let's go ahead and take Steven Adams, and we are now done with this draft. Okay, close the window out. Have a good night, everybody. Oh, wait a minute. I closed out my entire rundown right there. That wasn't what I meant to do. So let me open this back up here as we. I tell you what. I will take a departure from what I was about to get into with you guys and girls. I meant to close out the window that I was in for the draft, and I closed out my whole thing with my Google Doc and all that kind of stuff. So I got to pull this back up. But it's waiver wire night. So let me get into some waiver wire stuff with you guys and let you know some of the guys that I have my eye on here on the waiver wire, so you can make the most astute decisions and be the most informed here tonight, more than you already are. All right. Allen Robinson is probably on waivers in your league after the slow start. I think it's worth a roll of the dice to go back there. 5 catches, 63 yards, caught a nice floater from Matt Stafford on a fade route, 6 targets. And so you're thinking like, all right, maybe this is the beginning of traction. Maybe he goes 3 more weeks without anything. But Allen Robinson, he's just too good to be on waivers, man. He's just too good to be on waivers. If he's on waivers in your league, 10-team league, maybe not, 12-team, 14, go out there and pick Allen Robinson back up. If you're in a really, really deep league and you're thinking about Skoranek, the other wide receiver for the Rams, again, this is a deep league special only, not a regular league. But if you're in a deep league, you might as well go there. He scored a rushing touchdown. They are getting him the ball. He has 11 catches and 13 targets over the last 2 games. His role is expanding in this offense. So in a deep league, I do have my eye on Skoranek. I told you last week about Daniel Bellinger of the Giants. He should be a targeted tight end for you here in the waiver wire process. Greg Dulcich as well, Robert Tonyan of Green Bay, Hunter Henry. This is a suddenly rich tight end market for you. Hey, Jason Tatum at 9 rebounds. He went over the prop bet right there. Ricky Props is now doing some basketball props for you too. And we'll check my how that's going here in a minute. Another fadeaway shot from DeAnthony Melton. Yo, DeAnthony Melton, that is not going to get it done, man. Harden's on the court. Find him. It's not like I'm a Philly fan or anything, but bad basketball, man. I'm not into it. 13-point bulge here. Boston over Philadelphia. Wowie. That's big time. So I like Bellinger. So if Dulcich and Tonyan, Jelani Woods to a degree, got in the end zone again, 2 catches, 27 yards on 3 targets. But I tell you what, the guys that really kind of rise to the top here are Tonyan and Daniel Bellinger, because
The cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Robert Tonyan caught 10 balls for 90 yards and on 12 targets in the loss to the Jets. Obviously, you're in come from behind mode, but what's happening there is Randall Cobb is now hurt. Significant injury, going to miss some time. Tonyan is going to get a lot of those slot targets. Obviously, Lazard, Dobbs has fallen off the face of the earth, man. Dobbs was a thing. Now he's not a thing. He was a 2-week thing. It was a fortnight, just like Wimbledon, and now he's not a thing anymore. And part of it is because Aaron Rodgers is like Brady, like Russ, and just not very good anymore. I can't just say, oh, it's lack of targets. It's lack of targets. Homie is missing throws, man. He is missing throws. And he's looking frustrated. He looks disinterested at times. I don't like the vibe. It's crazy how Brady and Wilson and Rodgers are aging out before our eyes as we speak, all at the same time and at different ages, right? It's crazy how that's all happening right now. But Tonyan is back in sync with Rodgers. Really good pickup right now. Daniel Bellinger, look at his game log, okay? He's involved every week. He's getting in the end zone. Daniel Jones doesn't have a whole lot of other options to throw to. I like Daniel Bellinger. He's more athletic than I thought coming out of college, and I like it. 5 for 38 and a touchdown, 5 targets in the game. He's not going to put up huge numbers. He's not going to make you forget about Travis Kelce. But if you're in a 2 tight end league, giddy up. If you're in a 1 tight end league and you don't like your current guy, like you got Dalton Schultz, right? And so this is wheelhouse right here. Go and get Bellinger. I'd put Tonyan first, then I would put Bellinger, and then I would put Dulcich in Denver because he showed off the speed. This was the talk why they drafted him out of UCLA. I saw this speed last year at UCLA. This guy can really, really run. All right. And he caught a 39-yard touchdown, 2 grabs, 44 yards, and a touch. They absolutely have to have somebody other than Lockett, Sutton, and Judy step up. And it looks like he's going to be that guy. Will it resurrect Russell Wilson? Will it resurrect the Broncos season? No. Okay. They're going to be dirty goodies for you, mired in a sucky season for the Denver Broncos. In fantasy, to a degree, sometimes wins and losses matter, but in this case, it does not. All right, let's continue on here with waiver wire guys that I'm on for you here tonight. Rick Kamla on Bettor Sports Live. Wan'Dale Robinson. Yes, sir. Wan'Dale Robinson, folks, was, to give you a brief history here, an absolute phenom coming into Nebraska. But of course, he had Scott Frost as his coach, and Scott Frost is a clueless idiot. And so they didn't use him right. He had to transfer to Kentucky to get busy, which was last year with Will Levis in a suddenly pass-happy offense down there at Kentucky. Had a monster year, one of the greatest receiving seasons in Kentucky history. Ran a very good 40. He's small, but he's fast, and he's a slot. And I love slots. And a slot is a good spot in a Daniel Jones offense, right? Like, what else can he throw? 3 catches, 37 yards, and a touchdown. End of the first half, he had a big catch to set him up in the red zone, and then came out on the left side, took a little pass from Daniel Jones and took it into the end zone. Wan'Dale Robinson's role is going to expand going forward. I freaking promise. They're so desperate for wide receiver talent. Wan'Dale Robinson is a big yes for me. A big yes. It's on a good team, heading in a good direction. It's all good with the Giants right now. And get on. Wan'Dale Robinson's really going to help their cause. Latavius Murray is a pickup, folks. He is. He's a thing. Melvin Gordon benched. Latavius Murray takes over. 15 carries, 66 yards. Also caught a pass. And so not great numbers. Offensive line is a problem. No doubt about it. This is the waiver wire at the running back position in fantasy football. We are looking for me, my rule is when you hit 10 plus touches, you're on my radar. If you're kind of a nobody and you're at 7 touches, 8 touches, all right, I see you. I see you coming. When you hit double-digit touches, boom, strike time, okay? And remember, Latavius Murray had a good game with New Orleans, right? They scored. They cut him because Kamara was coming back. And so then poached off the practice squad, brought out to Denver, deactivated him last week against Indianapolis, and activated him last night. Boom, he was the lead guy over Mike Boone and Melvin Gordon, who have been with this program all year. That's big. Tells you that Nathaniel Hack is over it, and he's ready for just something new at the position. And Latavius Murray has always been talented. He's always been slept on. He's a big old hammer at the goal line. In 66 over 15, it's 4.5 yards per carry. Not bad. Deion Jackson. Now, we don't know about Jonathan Taylor and what's going to go on with him here. May come back this week, may not. Go ahead and pick up Deion Jackson. Hopefully you did it before this week, but you might not have because, Taylor's coming back. I don't even want to mess around with it and waste a spot. Go ahead and get him now. And I know Jackson's got a little injury himself, but he's good. He's a good player. Caught 10 balls for 79 yards on 10 targets. Didn't drop one ball. 12 carries, 42 yards and a touchdown. He was productive the week before. He's a good back. He is. And so when Taylor comes back, go ahead and dump him. Do we know definitively when Jonathan Taylor is coming back? Who is Pete Campbell, Paris Campbell. I had a vibe on Paris Campbell, and it finally came to fruition. And I've got him in dynasty leagues, and I didn't drop him. I didn't play him last week, which sucks, but who knew? Paris Campbell was non-existent the first 5 weeks of the season. Boom, he pops in week 6, 7 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown on 11 targets. This is what the fuss was about with me and some other fantasy heads looking for deep sleepers at the wide receiver position. He's with Matt Ryan in a dink and dunk offense, and he's a slot. What's not to love about that, okay? Paris Campbell is a guy, it's got to be a deep league thing here, okay? Not a 10, not a 12, a deep league thing here. But Paris Campbell, get him back on your radar now. As long as Jonathan Taylor is out, we're going to get this high pass volume from Matt Ryan, a lot of dink and dunk, and Paris Campbell obviously was a big beneficiary of that on Sunday. Bailey Zappi of the New England Patriots. This is a 2-quarterback league special. If you're in a 1-quarterback league, probably don't need to mess around with Bailey Zappi, okay? If you're in a 2-quarterback league, he's already on teams in dynasty leagues, but you need to mess around with Bailey Zappi. Are we really that sure that Mac Jones is better than Bailey Zappi? Are we really that sure about that? Query your brain on that. I'm a Mac Jones guy. Enjoyed his work at Alabama. Enjoyed his work last year. He is a good touch passer. Not the strongest arm, but he throws with touch. And he throws with timing and anticipation. He's smart, and he's a good quarterback. But I feel like Bailey Zappi, check me out, brings more zip to that offense. Bailey Zappi, 24 of 34, 309, 2 touchdowns. And he activated all of the receivers. He activated all of the receivers more than Mac Jones probably ever has. Tight ends, wide receivers, everybody. Now, nobody had a massive game, but everybody ate. Bailey spread the ball around. He looked a little bit more nimble, a little bit more adroit with his movements than Mac Jones is, especially with Mac Jones with the bum ankle, right? 2-quarterback leagues, got to look into some Bailey Zappi. Now, Tyquan Thornton. What are we doing with Tyquan Thornton? Scored 2 touchdowns, 1 through the air, 1 on the ground. Obviously, in a dynasty league, he's already on a team, okay? And so now he's on your radar of, do I actually play this guy now or not? To me, it's matchup based. That was a good matchup for them against Cleveland. Cleveland's defense sucks. If you're in a 10-team league, If you're in a 12-team league, maybe. If Bailey Zappi, I just feel like this offense has more upside with Bailey Zappi than it does Mac Jones. I feel like Bailey Zappi might be more than a game manager, and we know that Mac Jones is a game manager. And that's nothing wrong with that, but that's who he is. And I don't know, like if Mac Jones continues to miss games and Zappi keeps winning games, Zappi's going to be the guy. Belichick wants to win. He ain't trying to, oh man, let's look out for the, he doesn't give a damn what Mac Jones thinks. Not a single damn. A couple other guys I want to talk about here. Caleb Huntley of the Falcons and Tyler Algier of the Falcons. With Cordero Patterson out, and remember we had that annoying touchdown by Avery Williams in the Tampa Bay game. Avery Williams, what? I thought Caleb Huntley, but it was the Caleb Huntley and Tyler Algier show in the San Fran game. Huntley, 16 carries, 59 yards. He's a big, burly, bruising running back. Same thing with Tyler Algier, 15 carries, 51 yards. Yes, it's split, but again, when we get to double-digit touches, you have my attention. So I endorse both of them. This is the running back position. Wait until Thursday or Friday when you want to go out on waivers and check out a running back, right? None of these guys will be available. Make room at the end of your bench. It's a running back, okay? But it's a split backfield, and it's not a great team. Okay, Atlanta's 3-3. They don't suck. They don't suck. I like both of those guys as pickups right now. If I had to choose one or the other, I would say Tyler Algier because they have more invested in him. They have a draft pick invested in him, and to me, the money finds the field. The draft positioning finds the field. It's going to be split, but if I had to go one or the other, I would go with Tyler Algier. And then don't sleep on Olamide Zaccheaus. Every week he shows, right? Every week he has a decent line in the box score, scoring a touchdown. Again, a deep league special. I'm sure his roster percentage in Yahoo leagues is very, very small. But don't forget about him. I tell you what, when we come back, I'm going to take one more break right here. I will give you some guys to avoid on the waiver wire or to cast off of your team onto the waiver wire. And then we will check the box score here with Philly and Boston, and we'll check some of my prop bets and see how we're doing on that. It's all coming up. You're in a good spot. It's Rick Kamla on Bettor Sports Live.
Collectible moments.
Everybody up here at U.S. Cellular. Sox 5 runs, 6 hits. The 2-1 to Bartlett. Swing, chop to short. Ramirez has it, throws. Burley picks a perfect game. His second no-hitter. People going crazy here at U.S. Cellular. He's mobbed by his teammates. A perfecto.
Now there's a steal by Murr. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. Right up, one second left. What a play by Murr. Murr stole the impounding pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up at him. And Boston has a 1-point lead with 1 second left.
Out of the I formation on first down. Peterson to carry, looking for running room on the right side, has it to the 25, across the 30, across the 35, and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Adrian Peterson has just gone over 2,000 yards for the season, the 7th man in NFL history to cross the 2,000-yard mark.
Well, a thundering ovation for number 66, Mario Lemieux. Just the emotion I'm sure Mario is feeling in this place. You don't appreciate something until it's gone, and it's so great to have Mario back.
Yager turns around. Over to Lemieux. Mario Lemieux, his first goal in his comeback here tonight at the Mellon Arena. And the Penguins lead 3-0, and he is smiling like a butcher's dog. Mario Lemieux.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. The Bears have scored, but the Bands are out on the field.
Pearson moves in front of the STP Dodge. Petty comes back to the inside. They almost touch as they move down low in the bank, and you're going to be side by side as they exit the bank and head for the finish line.
Richard Petty goes back in front. They both spin. They're in the wall. Petty is sliding, slamming into the wall. He's coming down toward the finish line. Will he make it? Pearson is still running. The winner is car number 21. An amazing finish. Richard Petty's car demolished in the front end, as well as car number 21. An unbelievable finish, a terrible crash. David Pearson has won the Daytona 500. Leitner catches, comes down, dribbles, shoots, scores! Christian Leitner has hit the bucket at the buzzer! Pitched by Downey, swinging, there's a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 7-15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron.
The most valuable player is Magic Johnson. 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. He starts at center, plays forward and guard, and leads the Los Angeles Lakers to a world championship 123-107 over Philadelphia.
Whether you collect sports memorabilia, fantasy championships, or winning bet slips, talk about it on Bettor Sports Network.
We're back on Bettor Sports Live. Yes, I'm loving the music. In case you were wondering, it is your boy Cam. The FSGA West Fantasy Basketball League has been put on notice. Your metalhead, your deadhead, your jam band head boy, Rick Kamla, is coming for their money. And I'm going to get it. Tell you what's not happening tonight, and that's Philadelphia going into Boston and getting a win. Still might happen. Probably not, though. It is 110-99 Boston over Philly, and 7:30 to go in the game. And Philly, to me, their defense has been atrocious. It has been, I don't know, kind of a go through the motions game for Joel Embiid. Like, I thought King Kong, like, hear me roar, like, a big-time performance here tonight. And, there is kryptonite on the other side in Al Horford. Al Horford is and has proven to be Joel Embiid kryptonite over the years. Another bucket by Jaylen Brown. So, all right, I'll get back into this. And we'll check out Ricky Prop's NBA style. But I want to go back to the waiver wire here. It's waiver wire night tonight and tomorrow night. But obviously, let's get you going here in advance. You might be wondering about Michael Gallup of Dallas. What am I doing with Michael Gallup? He had 2 catches, 18 yards on 7 targets in the Philadelphia game. And what you do with Michael Gallup is what you have been doing with Michael Gallup if you have him on your team, and that's stash him. Because Dak is going to come back and he is going to unearth Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is going to be a thing, okay? But Cooper Rush, like, he can get it to Brown a little bit. He can get it to CeeDee Lamb a little bit. He likes throwing to Hendershot and Ferguson. He and Gallup don't have a vibe. They just don't. If you're wondering where Garrett Wilson has gone, Garrett Wilson, the rookie hotshot out of Ohio State for the Jets, Zach Wilson does not trust him, does not like him, is not comfortable with him. He throws to Corey Davis, not Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson was the thing with Flacco, not with Zach. Gallup is going to be a thing with Dak. They have a vibe. They've collaborated on a bunch of catches and touchdowns, and both got paid together, okay? So hold on to Michael Gallup. And if you want to be smart and get ahead of the game and you're like, man, there is nothing on waivers at the wide receiver position, but there's Michael Gallup, go ahead and pick him up. Dak's going to be back in week 7, and we are going to see that's next week. That's the reporting going on right now. Juju Smith-Schuster popped 5 catches, 113 yards, and a touchdown. I believe he'll be on waivers in a lot of your leagues right now. What do you do with him? Leave him there. Look, I was big on Juju, like sleeper big, right? Coming into the draft, all right, he's Patrick Mahomes slot receiver. This should be a really big season for him. And it hasn't worked out. And I don't think it will, because what they're doing is winning. I know that they lost the KC game, but they're 4-2. They're winning with their method of wide receiver by committee to fill in for Tyreek Hill. And it's Hardman, and it's Valdez-Scantling, and it's Sky Moore, and it's Juju Smith-Schuster, and it's Justin Watson before he blew a tire, and it's by committee. And then it's Kelsey, and then you throw to the backs a little bit, and that's how they're going to do it. And I don't think anything's going to change. And maybe, just maybe, Juju hits a heater here and starts giving this to us every week. I doubt that's going to happen. And I want it to happen. I'm invested in Juju in some dynasty leagues, but I just don't think it's going to happen. And I got to be honest with you, and I got to be honest with myself. I would leave Juju on waivers if I were you. Kenyon Drake popped 10 carries, 119 yards, and a touchdown. Are we picking him up? No. Last I checked, J.K. Dobbins did not blow a tire. Sometimes they say every squirrel finds a nut. And I think that's what happened here. Okay, he had a good game, scored a long touchdown. All right, cool. What's going to happen next week? 1 carry and 2 yards? 1 catch for -5 yards, right? Nah, leave him on waivers. I'm not feeling it. Traquan Smith of the Saints, 3 catches, 43 yards, and a touchdown. I know. How dare me, right? How dare me? We can just move on. I actually brought it up sarcastically, right? How long have we been waiting on Traquan Smith to do anything? We go back to the Drew Brees days with Traquan Smith. Okay, he scored a touchdown. They didn't have Thomas. They didn't have Landry. They didn't have Olave. Leave him on waivers. But then you already knew that, right? Mike Gesicki, he popped with the combo of Skylar Thompson and Teddy Bridgewater. 6 catches, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 7 targets. The ups and downs, the undulations of Mike Gesicki. And now there are reports that he might be traded in advance of the deadline. Leave him on waivers. There are too many blank games, too many empty games. By the way, it seems like the other quarterbacks that they have vibe with Gesicki more than Tua Tagovailoa. Tua did throw a touchdown pass to Gesicki in the Baltimore game, but it's been few and far between. So it's a really good stat line. The other thing is you're chasing money on it, right? 6 for 69 and 2. It's sexy. It looks great. You'd love that in your lineup. Well, folks, that was last week. Nothing you can do about it now. You can't copy and paste stat lines. So I would leave him on waivers. We talked about Chase Edmonds earlier. I'm so done with hype and believing in this guy and think he's going to do anything. He is a waiver wire running back until or unless, God forbid, something happens to Raheem Mostert. Albert O, the tight end for Denver. Flush him. I'm sure you have already, but if you're hanging in there, man, I just need one more game to evaluate Albert O. When you saw Dulcich streaking down the sideline for that long touchdown, that was your cue right there. Oy. Boop. Flush. Whoosh. Bye-bye. Mike Boone. I don't know about Mike Boone. He's probably waiver wire, chum. But where are we going with Melvin Gordon? Does Melvin Gordon get benched? And Nathaniel Hack had a quote, we're going to use all three guys. Really? Don't look like that to me. Looks like you're going to use Murray and a little blend in here with Boone. So Russell Wilson, if you're in a one quarterback league, you've been hanging in there and you've made it this long, like with patience and stuff, cut him. There's got to be somebody better out there. Tua's coming off the injury. Matt Stafford might have been dropped. There's got to be somebody better out there. There just has to be. Than Russell Wilson right now. We talked about Garrett Wilson. No vibe at all with Zach Wilson. If you're in a redraft league, go ahead and cut Garrett Wilson. Obviously in a dynasty league, how dare you? Deshaun Jackson picked up by Baltimore. Ooh, Deshaun Jackson went to Baltimore. No, there's no ooh going on here. I have not been a Deshaun Jackson guy for like 10 years. Okay. What is Deshaun Jackson when he plays? He's a home run hitter. When do home runs happen for wide receivers? About once every month. Okay. I'm not putting you in my lineup getting 3 bagels and then, ooh, he popped and he caught an 80-yard touchdown. Nope. Not doing it. So, little waiver wire breakdown for you right there with your boy Rick Kamla here on Bettor Sports Network. Now, let's look at some prop bets right here. Boston, look at them, man. They're up 13. They got all this adversity. Oh, my God. What am I going to say tomorrow on NBA radio about Philadelphia? What am I going to say tonight about Philadelphia? This is not what we signed up for, folks. I picked Philadelphia to win the East in the regular season. Finished number 1.
Bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
That's Stephen A. Smith, and yes, all of that is true. They're about to give up 120. The Sixers are purportedly a defensive-minded team. They're about to give up 125. This is an evisceration. Boston is the team that's had controversy with the coaching change. Boston has lost Robert Williams. Boston has lost Danilo Gallinari. And Joel Embiid just missed a layup, and they called a phantom foul on Al Horford. This is a joke, man. This is a joke. This is fraudulent behavior by the Philadelphia 76ers. Yes, it's only one game. Yes, it's against the team that went to the finals last year. This team that went to the finals last year is shorthanded, people. Shorthanded. Philly's not. They got their full complement. Full complement. Not good enough. All right, let's dig into the box score a little bit here. We got winners. I'm just looking at the box score right now, and we got winners. Ricky Props in the house, NBA style. Oh my God, Jason Tatum is balling. 33 points, 12 rebounds. He went well over his point prop. I was off on that, but I was on his rebound prop at 7.5. We went over on that, and let's cash that one in. We were over on Jaylen Brown at 22.5 points. He's at 29. Easy money. Easy money, sniper. That is Kevin Durant's handle or whatever, nickname or whatever. Ooh, let's check out Derek White. Was my Derek White tout a good one? It was. Oh, my God. A puke bucket of disgust and misery and despair. 2 points? Are you kidding me, brah? 2 points from Derek White in the starting lineup for the Boston Celtics. You gots to be kidding me. And I picked him up as a streamer in a lot of leagues tonight, right? 2 games, you stream guys. Man, Derek White, you are in the bleep house right now. Give me a break. And we were rolling there too, Derek White, until you came along with that big old under. Joel Embiid. I stayed off the point prop. Didn't trust it. Like I said, Al Horford, kryptonite for Joel Embiid. And he's at 21 points. That was a good stay away. And I did bang the over on his rebounds, folks. He's got 15. And the over was 10.5. Let's go ahead and green that one out. We're rolling here tonight on the props in the NBA. Let's keep it up here. Who else we got? Oh, we had the Joel Embiid double-double prop. Bang it, hit it, cash it. It's there for you, or it was. I told you before the game. He has 21 and 15. Joel Embiid, the double-double prop, easy freaking money. Easy money. And then tonight, folks, you got a few minutes left here. The nightcap on TNT. It'll be the Lakers at the Dubs. I've got LeBron James over 27.5. Over 27.5 points. I got Anthony Davis over 9.5 rebounds. I got Anthony Davis in his double-double prop. It's at a +110. So, double-digit points, double-digit rebounds. And I'm under Klay Thompson at 15.5 points. Played one preseason game, slow start, barely didn't go live in the offseason at all. And so he's not going to play very much tonight. He's on a minutes cap of 20 minutes. How is he going to get to 16 or more points in 20 minutes of action? I don't see that happening, especially with a guy that's working his way back into shape. All right, big thanks to our guests tonight. We had Corey Parson on, and we had Casey Joyner on. Big thanks to Anthony Rivera and Tyler Soto behind the glass. I will see you tomorrow night with the one and only Lisa Ann right here on Bettor Sports Live. Have a great night, everybody, and we will see you very, very soon.